What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Project Manga podcast, where we cover One Piece, My Hero, Black Clover, Mashle, Chainsaw Man, and Jujutsu Kaisen week to week. Back this week covering the Shonen Jump issue number 43. I'm your host, Eagle.
What up, is Kiko?
Knox.
And Nickums.
And as always, before we get started, we would just like to say, go ahead and visit that link tree in the description box down below, where you can find links to any and all of our online communities, audio listening platforms to consume the podcast on, as well as links to support the podcast if you'd be so inclined, such as links to our Patreon, where you can obviously subscribe to different tiers of extra content that we release that range from early access to all of our content all the way up to a completely different weekly Shonen-centric podcast that we do covering different series. So check that out. Also, while you're down there in the description, you can find timestamps to avoid spoilers, to, you know, skip to whatever segments you want to.
Yes.
And with all that said, Knox, man, why are you looking so like shifty, like a crackhead down there? Like,
I don't know, because I'm like,
you got me laughing. You're like,
oh, sorry, my bad, bro. I'm like, I took like 2 of my like energy supplements before the review because I was super drowsy. So now I'm all like,
man, how y'all feeling about this week in Jump?
great, dude. I'm super
Crazy.
excited to fucking talk about everything. Obviously,
Yes.
I just want to
Starting
get to the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. This week is huge. Even without Black Clover, like we were kind of talking about before the show started, it still feels like such a huge week even without it. But and that's just because My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, and One Piece were so massive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Super ready to talk about JJK.
Yes.
Hell
Well, then
yeah.
let's get right into it. Fuck it.
Yes.
Let's
Chapter
do it.
123 of, this cover's fucking me up, of Jujutsu Kaisen, the Shibuya Incident Part 41, bro, because it's like boom,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Turn
yo,
your
this
monitor.
cover,
Yeah.
this
This
shit
cover
legit
is so
looks
good.
like a fucking movie cover, bro.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
I need this poster on my wall. It looks
Yes.
so tight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is incredibly detailed, and like the shading, the shadowing of the leaves over Kugisaki's face and
Yes.
shit. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, dude,
Yeah, the
this is a
light
beautiful
coming
ass
through
cover.
the shadow, or the light coming through the leaves.
This has got to be one of the most well done and like pretty covers I've ever seen.
Yeah, same here. And I love how the Gege just like knows that Nobara is like a pretty like or a cute character, but like always like takes opportunities to draw Nobara as like not just that like
Yeah.
you know like
Yeah.
cute female character that's a part of the team. Like she right here, she looks very confident. She looks very focused on something. Like she's thinking about something intently. She has a very, I don't want to say rugged, but just like not, you know, it's not like you know, like it's not kawaii, you know what I'm saying? Like she can definitely be that. We've seen her look like that, but usually it's more for like comedic, you know, comic relief
Right.
and like those kind of scenes. But I just love how he always draws her looking like such a fucking gangster all the time. It's like, you don't need
Yeah,
to be,
exactly.
you don't need
Yeah.
to be
And I just don't
kawaii
get,
all
like,
the time.
Man, Gege is so tight. Like, I'm assuming that this is a drawn picture, like 100%. But like, I remember I brought, I think it was up to you, Noxie, like
Yeah.
a certain chapter of Dr. Stone where like the ocean was drawn.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this is so fucking good. Like,
Yeah.
did Boichi take a
No.
fucking picture of the
And
ocean
trace it.
and just draw the ship on this shit? Because this is too fucking good.
Yeah, like how did someone
And-
draw this with their hands?
This
And this is
one of
legit a
those
picture.
where it's like,
Yeah.
is this an actual picture? Because this looks like he
Yeah,
just
like look
drew
at like
characters into a
look at
real
the
picture.
look at the barbed wire on the fence. Look at the security camera. Look at the reflection on the building, the trees. I mean,
Oh,
it's
so
just
it is
like
an actual- he
literally
just
a
drew 'em
picture.
into okay.
Yeah, he drew him on top of a picture or whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if they didn't though? What if that's all hands?
That's what I'm saying.
Then I'd rather him spend his time elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But shit.
But then we get a little cover page, a little startup
Yeah, we get a
page. It's
colored
really
cover
great.
page before the big poster.
I love that you get Nobara's like shonen protagonist speech here, and
Yeah.
and the best part about it is that she backs the shit up. Like she fucking is right in this chapter. It's just she is always going to. You just have no
things.
you just have no fear that that Gege's going to table her or put her on the back burner. Like it's just she's the best female lead in Jump, right? Like I think so. Like lead.
Yeah.
Like a lead character for sure. Like, I mean, who do you get? You get like, Ochako, or you get like
Noelle and Nobara are like probably top two right now.
Yeah, but Nobara has so many more things going for her than Noelle does, of course. But like, it's just
we'll see what Yamato. Oh, I spoke too soon. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so Nobara, there's so much to talk about here, and I don't really want to quite jump to all of it. I just want to stick right now to how badass what we were already talking about, and just like the picture, the bottom panel below, like just how much determination she has on her face in that panel.
Yeah, she looks dead serious right there. Like, yo, this is what I have to do.
Yeah. And she really is like, she has all the things that like a male protagonist will have. Like she has the willpower. She has like strength for herself, not because of another character. Like it's never because of a boy. It's like because she wants to, grow herself, Right. She's got the deductive reasoning that we see in this chapter and many other chapters below, her tactical mind. She's just like, she has it all. Like she really just has everything going for her, and I am just very, very confident that she will never fully fall out of favor a la Sakura or something like that, even though, Sakura kind of comes back then, but still, regardless, like it's just never going to feel like that. I don't think she'll always have her moments and it'll always be powerful. And just one more, I know I'm kind of going on for a long time, but like just one more thing. She's the least emotional of the three, like Yuji feels for his enemies. Nobara never does. Nobara is all about that work every time. Megumi's caught up in self-doubt and all this other other shit. It's like Nobara is just like firm, hard body whole time. No, she's never like, her convictions never waver, like it's just, it's really, really, really refreshing to get this character, and just this chapter, even though we did talk about it last week, I did, suspect the Mahito that she was fighting was a lesser form, which is true.
That sucks.
But it doesn't
matter. It doesn't feel.
It doesn't feel bad because it's like, especially because like it just is really going to work out with the tag team that they're fighting. I mean, it just feels like an Origin of Obedience part 2, and we've been talking about a Black Flash combo, these last couple of weeks, which seems like even more likely, now, especially with, I don't know, can she Black Flash with Resonance at the same time? It's like quadruple the damage to original Mahito if he's getting hit. I don't know. It's going to be wild to see what happens.
Yeah.
But
one more. I was going to say one more thing about this page, or this very first page. I feel like I get the vibe that Nita is saying like, don't go. Nanami also said don't go. We didn't tell you about Shoko. And Nobara's like, oh yeah, and that's probably why the paramedic team was late, right? Like I get the vibe that they're purposely getting in Nobara's way, not necessarily like anyone's way in particular, like specifically Nobara. They're like trying to prevent her from going hard for some reason. I found it very weird or whatever.
Yeah.
Did
you get that vibe too? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I did. And I felt like it was more of her circumstances allowed for them to get in her way more. I'm pretty sure they would have treated any of the children, whatever, the kids of the school that way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She just so happened to be like associated with all of the authority, you know what I mean, that has any kind of stake in telling people what to do or caring about, like, because like look at all the other team ups, you know what I mean? You had Mei and Yuji and Ui. Mei's not gonna fucking tell Yuji shit, you know what I'm saying? You have and then you have Megumi, you know what I mean? Or you have Maki and Naobito. Like Naobito's gonna tell her what to do before anybody else tells her what to do. And Nanami was right there. You know what I'm saying? That's not his place to tell Maki what to do. So
bro, Maki better come out like Two-Face burned up, like,
oh wait, she better come out Two-Faced, you're saying? Like she better come out
like,
burned up.
She better not be dead, bro.
Oh yeah. I don't think she's dead. I'm so confident that she's alive.
I want to believe she's not either, but at the same time,
I'm confident she'll be scarred though, and I'm confident Nobara will be scarred too. Like it's I just think it's
you mean Naobito?
What's being done?
Naobito,
well, no, I'm saying Nobara. Like even in this fight, like once this fight's done, like I, I'm just confident. Like with what's was it who's the scarred one again? Utahime, right? Isn't she scarred?
Yeah.
The one scarred across her face. It's like Yuji has a scar across his face now. You know, like Gege shows the stakes that exist outside of death within the story, and I'm sure they'll continue to go on. And it's you know, like
this
I thought
arc is going to go on to like this is going to be a relevant arc in every arc in the future. Like the people are constantly going to be remembering this time in the story, like throughout the rest of the story. Like this is going to get referenced back to very often, regardless of the direction of the future of the series. Like people are going to think back to the trauma that they've experienced during this arc in one way or another, whether that's in the form of like psychological damage or physical damage. Like Yuji, I want to say confidently, is going to leave this arc with that scar, and that's going to carry with him. You know what I mean? So
would not be surprised.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we get back into the Mahito versus Yuji skirmish.
He's doing this sick
Hit the shish kebab
man hook attack where he fucking gets them all in the hook and whips them at his ass, bro.
Yeah.
And then the dude,
That's
like, he's
crazy.
like, you okay? You okay? And his head explodes with the JoJo blood in the eyes. Ha! Gotcha!
It almost...
I mean, that's terrifying, that transfigured human turning around and fucking responding that way with the blood coming. It's just like... it's just like...
balloon face.
Yeah,
that shit's...
You just really... I don't know, like that, when I saw that, I'm like, just picturing myself in that situation. Like, how, like...
I just watched a man's head blow up in front of me, He was just saying words to me. He was just saying words to me up until the point it exploded. Like, come on, bro. Like, I know we're reading a manga right now, and it's like, but it's just like, damn, bro. Like, imagine that.
Yep.
No thanks.
Yeah. So, let's see.
Then Nobara time.
Back to Nobara time. This is a very Nobara heavy chapter, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I'm so glad she got so much. And we got so much in one chapter.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily like a huge nerf to like the second Mahito, because it's almost like both Mahitos are only fighting with one half of their power, where he said he can only transform his own form. He can't use the transmogrified humans and shit. Well, the other Mahito, due to the way Yuji fights and shit, is being really weary of transforming his own form and mainly fighting with the transmogrified humans.
Right.
So, but now after this battle, he's not going to be able to use the self-transmogrifying against Nobara either. The reason that he's not using it against Yuji is because he's afraid Yuji's going to beat the shit out of him with this longer, bigger target, right?
Yep.
Now that he thought at the beginning when he's saying this stuff that like, oh, Nobara, there's no threat to me. I can use my transformations against her. She's no threat. But now he knows she's a huge threat, just as big a threat as Yuji. So now Mahito's not going to be able to do his transformations either against Nobara.
He'll have to fight much more,
Which is so amazing to see. You know, it's like, it would be really unlikely that Megumi is going to have a counter against Mahito like these two do. You know, Yuji and Nobara can attack the soul directly. And it's weird to me that it never really dawned on me, because voodoo is like all about the awareness of your soul and stuff like that. So like it's crazy that it never really dawned on me until this chapter. Like, oh yeah, obviously she can attack the soul. Like, this makes a fucking shit ton of sense. And you know, it's just how great Gege writes the story. It's just like you're not really gonna, I don't know, but I personally wouldn't see that coming. I don't. He showed it so well that it seemed like it was only able to attack body, you know, especially when you have sympathy, where it's like, I'm going to hurt myself, that also hurts you as well, you know, like, and this really makes it now. So, because we talked about it, or at least I mentioned it, I think last week, that Nobara couldn't use sympathy against Mahito because Mahito just regenerates. So it's not a big deal because attacking his body does nothing. But if she can use sympathy on herself, like on her soul, or just, would it still hit his soul? You know, like it's hard
sympathy actually. So we got a comment that I looked into, because like when Origin of Obedience was still like coming out weekly, like I personally wasn't reading like the official translations only at that point in time. So and obviously that was a different,
me neither, definitely.
so that was a different situation than we had seen Nobara using her abilities. But someone left a comment on our last video when we were talking about sympathy versus resonance and the difference between them, or the difference that we were establishing. And they made a comment and said that sympathy is resonance, just the difference is the Viz translation and like the unofficial translation. Like the word sympathy is actually just resonance, but the unofficial scans, it's the exact same attack, but sympathy is the unofficial translation of resonance. So I looked into that and I reread Origin of Obedience, and I was like, no, this is a completely different. And I looked at the wiki too, and the wiki
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure on the wiki it says the opposite.
Yeah,
it says
the wiki.
different.
Yeah, the wiki has a different ability definition for resonance and a different ability definition for sympathy. But and when I reread Origin of Obedience, I was like, no, this is definitely resonance. The only difference is that there Kechizu and Esso's like DNA, or I think it was just Esso's actually, was inside of Nobara. So Nobara doesn't need to like put the DNA or the body part of another enemy on top of a straw doll or something like that to activate resonance. It's already a part of her, so that's why she's sticking herself with the hairpin, and that's why it's doing damage. So like that was really confusing to me at first, because I was like, no, these are two different techniques entirely. And then I looked into it and reread the thing, and I was like, okay, so maybe it is just resonance mistranslated. But
I see.
I just wanted to clear that up.
Basically, back when we thought Nobara was self-attacking, but Nobara was really attacking like the blood or DNA
of Esso, yes,
in her wound, attacking Esso directly through his body, quote unquote,
right?
But really hitting his spirit,
right? And it makes sense that you would call it sympathy because you're self-targeting yourself, you're doing damage to yourself, but it was really just a resonance that she only needed to target the blood inside of herself to activate.
But why would you give a named attack to something that could never really be used again? Like, how often is somebody else's DNA is going to be inside her? Like that's never going to happen again.
Yeah.
And the sympathy.
The sympathy is a mistranslation.
Sure.
Right. So it's the attack.
I feel like this is an easy solve if you just go back and read the officials.
I did. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like I reread Origin of Obedience because I was like, no, this is a different attack. I'm gonna go reread.
And it said resonance.
Yeah, and it says resonance. Yeah, it says resonance there.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, but anyway, continuing
the
conversation.
There can be like specific variations of attacks and shit.
Yeah, but as far as the officials go, it's the same attack.
Like Kiko said, if it's that attack, but it only applies in this certain instance, where it'll very rarely apply.
Yeah.
Then it's called the resonance sympathy version or whatever the fuck,
right.
Sure,
yeah. But anyway, just wanted to clear that up because I remembered that comment when I started talking about it again, and and what I did to look into that. Completely forgot to.
So
bring that up. Yeah.
Something I love, Kiko, you mentioned Nobara's, tactical strategic thinking or whatever.
Yeah.
Something I love about stories like Jujutsu Kaisen, like Hunter x Hunter, right? Like where we have these smart, like every character is pretty smart, you know what I mean? I love that we can have in one chapter, just get it out of the way. Mahito says, ha ha ha, you don't even know. I can't even transmogrify you. And you're doing all this extra for nothing. And then like several pages later, like not even a chapter, several pages later, Nobara's like, oh, you're a double. You can't even do transmogrification.
Figured it out herself.
It's like, oh, let's just get it out of the way.
Yes.
We got the suspense of like, oh, damn, like, this is a tricky situation, strategery, trickery.
Well, it wasn't even
out of the way.
It was even more badass in the sense where it wasn't even like something where she slipped up and got touched and then realized that it didn't work and
she did.
Shit, he can't do it.
She got hit, but it wasn't like a tap. You know what I mean?
No, but she literally said in this chapter
he couldn't do it through the fact that her cursed energy, she felt it detonate in a completely different location.
But that's not the thing. It's the thing that when he attacked her face and it scraped her face, that he could have just like. Or is it with the spikes then?
Yeah.
Is it the one with the spikes? Yeah, it's the one with the spikes then. But like it's definitely like hitting her. She's definitely taking damage from these spikes. It's like you would have just grabbed me at that point, right? Like
right. Instead of trying to hit me,
you're not
with
just
a fucking,
swinging a big mace arm around. Like why would you even do that?
It's the last page 23 on the top left panel.
Mm-hmm.
She says, "Back then you could have just grabbed me." Like he hit her in the side or whatever, and she says like. If you had this ability, I would be dead right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was part of it, like that she got hit. She would have died if it was the real Mahito. And she did realize, like, oh yeah, I'm still alive. Like, you're a doubler or something. You can't use your curse technique, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But I just like that. Like
with
she's
the
smart enough to
claw,
realize
not
it
the
very
spikes.
quickly.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The left-handed claw. I was thinking it was like with the spikes or the whatever, like the But yeah, it's with the left-handed claw when he swiped her with because the right hand is still in the mace form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing is just like how often is trying to think of like how often the primary like female lead on the team is in a final bout with like, because we could assume that this is Yuji's like final fight inside of Mahito, inside of the Shibuya incident. He's had a full power fight with Choso. This could be his final like full power fight against Mahito, the one that we've been waiting for a rematch with. How often would an author split this, you know, big bad confrontation with the main character,
right,
with not just, you know, the primary female character of the series, but just with anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like usually it's just main character 1v1 the big bad of like the big arc, especially one with as much build up and like lead up as Mahito versus Yuji, you know what I'm saying? And now we're splitting like how often do you see a situation like this in Jump nowadays?
No, it's super true. That's a super good point. It's super rare. Like never happens.
Yeah.
No, that either means that this is just amazing, you know, novel writing, you know, we're getting legit new scenes even in shonen, you know, that's been going on for, you know, decades or whatever, or this isn't Yuji's last fight of the arc,
right?
And we have yet to know who that will be, but I agree with you. I think this is the last fight of his for the arc, so yeah, for sure.
I do too, and it's just, I mean, reigns true that this obviously isn't the end of Mahito no matter what happens in this fight, right? Like it's you know, Yuji and Nobara aren't going to outright win against Mahito, and then he's done, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be. I
highly doubt that.
And he's going to escape for sure.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, a good way to do like this 2v1 fight here, which, you know, I assume Mahito is going to lose now. Like at first, I didn't think he was going to lose. Like he's going to lose the fight. He's just not going to die, you know. And like we've always said, he can always turn into a puddle and jump into the wall or whatever he wants to do. But I still think there's going to be more to it than that. You know, however this fight pans out, because like I was saying before, like I really thought like Uraume was going to interject and stop Mahito from killing Yuji, and that Mahito was going to win the fight.
Yeah.
But now it just doesn't feel that way at all anymore, and I'm just excited to see what happens. Like I was very sure that was going to happen. Like I was like, man, that just seems like how you would end an arc like this, especially with, you know, you need to keep both Yuji and Mahito, obviously, as characters. So
right.
And it's just like how brutal of a fucking like fighting style too for Nobara to have. Like she's literally taking a nail and driving it into the forehead of like the enemy. Like that's a little bit more like brutal than like that's a little bit more brutal than like I feel like you see in like, you know, in like Jump. Like usually it's like the enemy will just like send whatever their attack is, and like the area of like damage will be like the body somewhere, and it's like and then the eyes go white, and then like you finish them or whatever. Like you're usually attacking like that, but no, this fucking chick is pounding nails into your brain with a hammer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and
that's
do you catch her doing Salt Bay with the nails, right? She's up there like dropping them like this, doing Salt Bay. That's I don't know if that's meant to actually be Salt Bay, but that's what it seems like.
Are you talking page 14?
Yeah, page 14.
Yes,
because at least the bottom left,
like just.
I was gonna say like
it looks like one nail, but there's more than just one nail, or maybe that's
it's
just
the after image of the one
like
nail.
That one nail. Okay.
Well, it's not.
I did see what you
meant.
Yeah, I did see like just like, you know, like a.
That's in front of in front
like
of
a slow mo of that nail
flipping. You can see it.
Because what we see really on page 14 is the fact that Nobara can hammer nails without the hammer. She can snap her fingers and hammer nails, which is fucking amazing, awesome. The hammer is a fucking feint, or it's like used for resonance only. You know what I mean?
It's a resonance thing, but she has the hairpin. She has the hairpin on the snap, and then the hairpin. You know what I'm saying? Like makes all of the other ones like react in a way that like
just
she like slams the one
the ground.
Shockwaves the ground. And bounces all up, and then they're all pointing in different directions from just randomness, you know. And it's just like, do it again, snap! Oh my god, so sick.
It's so fucking tight, bro.
It's the tactical ability she has right here too, where it's like, okay, she's above him, and he knows that. And then he, sees when she, does the resonance and it goes down, but he has to look up to her because she's jumping down now. She's in midair as her second snap happens.
Yeah.
So she's coming down. So he's not seeing that they're all going to fucking detonate or whatever and skewer him in the legs, which then he gives that one little tiny second where he has to look down. Oh shit, I got fucking, it was just so fucking well
brilliant.
Done.
Her foresight in combat.
Because
it's like you planned all of this out. Like how much time is passing here? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like from the start. Yeah, from the start of this conflict here, we have let's see. It comes back from Yuji after he explodes that body. Clink clink with the fucking nails. It's showing that the nails are falling on the ground. It's making us look at the nails. So Nobara is thinking about the nails. He thinks that he's got her strategy all figured out. She's laying nails everywhere while dodging fatal blows from Mahito. You know what I'm saying? Clashing with Mahito. And then all of these things are being set up over the course of the rest of the chapter. And it's that she saw this final conflict, this final page.
Yep.
Or this final culmination of everything that's happened this chapter. She saw all of that before the conflict even started in this chapter. She's like, I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna end like this. Yep. And it's
amazing.
Bruh.
Isn't there wasn't it the Dragon Dive where the narrator's going on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and then at the end of it he's like 3 seconds has passed.
Yeah.
That's this kind of shit. That's this kind of shit.
Exactly.
Oh,
this is always cracks me up.
I feel like this is the coolest.
Yeah.
This is the coolest ability to me since Toto. Mm-hmm. The fact that she does not need the hammer. She's always used the hammer the entire time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now she finally reveals it's not the hammer. Not necessarily. It doesn't have to be the hammer. It's the claps, and it's I don't have to clap and use my ability. I can just clap and
make you think I'm using my ability. Yeah. And we've seen her use the hairpin without the hammer before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we've definitely seen hairpin by itself in Origin of Obedience in
still sick.
Still super sick. Definitely still super sick. But it has been a fat minute since she's used the hairpin this way. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then she drives the fucking resonance in, bro.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Mahito's
and with
face
this
in that panel is priceless.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, with this though, so we've seen her use resonance with a straw doll too. So it's is the Mahito's clone? It's basically serving a dual purpose. It's a part of the body that's needed, but it's also a doll, a conduit that's needed, right?
Sure.
Because for it to travel back and hit the original Mahito.
Yeah. I think that's just because it's one target,
it's just
one
an
soul,
extension
one
of
target,
himself.
right? So Mahito's, the target of resonance is Mahito, but Mahito is currently split into two different beings. So if she resonances on one of them, that resonance is going to reach all the other parts of Mahito that there are because they're all stemming from that same target.
See,
is Kiko asking? Are you asking? Do you need the doll, the straw doll?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think what we're seeing is that you don't need the straw doll. You can do resonance as a melee attack against anyone. It's just that the straw doll is useful
in case
for
they're trying
mid
to
to
get
long
away.
range attack.
Yeah.
You don't want to be up close.
Yeah.
You want to just grab a little piece of them, fall back, and use it at distance.
Well,
right?
think about the times that we've seen resonance.
Sure.
So the first time that we saw her use her abilities ever was in chapter 5 or
When
5
she
or
used the
6
straw
or whatever.
doll, wasn't it against a more ranged type of
Well,
fighter?
no, because
they were running away.
Yeah, right. So they were in that one scene in the very first arc, chapter 5 or whatever, and that one curse had that little boy hemmed up or whatever, and then Yuji comes out the wall or whatever and helps out Nobara or whatever, and then the curse tries to jump out the window. But Yuji had already cut off its arm or something like that, so it tried to retreat out the window. And then Megumi and Gojo are sitting there, and they see the curse jump out the door. And then Megumi's like, I'm going to exercise it. And then fucking Gojo is like, yo, chill for a sec. Because Nobara had a piece of its arm. She attached it to the straw doll. And then she banged the resonance through it. And it exploded that curse
because the arm was disconnected from the main body.
Right.
If you're just attacking the main body, you don't need the doll probably.
Right.
And this is a kind of hack using Mahito's ability, like because the main
they're
body and they're connected through the Nen, through the
soul.
cursed energy, through the soul, right?
Yep.
Through the soul, yeah.
Right,
sure.
Right, so that's why the resonance reaches back to the original Mahito, because the target is Mahito, not just this body part of Mahito. Like I'm hitting the resonance through this clone, and this clone is a part of the original. It's just they're in two separate areas, but they still share the same soul. So because it hits this one, the rest of that attack is going to find the rest of Mahito as well. Yeah.
And because Nobara has this counter to Mahito, similar to how Yuji does, like, what does this just really mean for the future? You know, like it's just like I was saying earlier, like Megumi, it's just highly doubtful that he's going to have some other way to attack the soul like Nobara and Yuji do. So it's like, it just seems like they're going to be in these 2v2 situations more often than not. Like, and we already had, Megumi and Yuji 2v2 situations too. So like, it's just really, really cool, I guess. But it just feels that like Megumi and Yuji's 2v2s were like far less significant, right? Because it wasn't against the Mahito and wasn't against the Choso brothers, whatever. You know, like those were like big 2v2s. Were like, they were against Inverse or they were against whatever. It just seems like it's really, really, really cool to have that these two are going to do this together, and it seems to be like a running theme that may continue. And it's maybe there is going to be some reason that they gotta basically assemble as three to fight Mahito, I guess is what I'm getting at. Like endgame Mahito, like
right. Well, because
it just feels like huge.
Right. So Megumi's like role inside of that final confrontation would be, because we see how Megumi supports Yuji, Rabbit escape, different kinds of Shikigami while Yuji loads up the fatal damage or whatever. And then like we could probably see that exact same combo inside of like Megumi and Nobara, because Nobara and like Yuji are both like super like intensive like melee damage types. Yeah, and fucking like definitely. Megumi is like a help my guys out, until they deliver that damage type character. So I can see him playing a similar role against Mahito with Nobara and Yuji as he did with Yuji and Inverse. You know what I mean?
But if he gets that Maharaga, he's not a support character anymore.
Yeah, it depends on his Shikigami he's using too, because it's like them Jade werewolves and stuff for super. But I mean, just the fact that you're using Shikigami, I guess, lends you to be a caster type. Not a physical type, but But regardless, it just seems like Yuji and Mahito, I guess, can still have a big bet. Like they just have a 1v1 to finish the series. I assume that's probably what you guys all probably assume is going to happen. I was just trying to think of like another outcome. Like is Mahito going to get so strong and then Yuji eventually doesn't have Sukuna in him and they have to fight, and now like what is it called? What's his new whatever, Mahayana prison, but like whatever it's called, whatever the
Mahayana,
but it's been changed for Viz, right?
Oh,
I think that was.
You mean Sukuna's ability?
No.
You're talking Mahito's domain.
Domain expansion, and the reason he can't do it against Yuji is because Sukuna just activates right away. So it's like maybe that would make sense, is that Megumi, since he's going to be presumably the only one of the three that's going to have domain expansion, since he already does, maybe that's the role that he plays. But I'm just still thinking it's like it would be nice to have another outcome other than just Yuji versus Mahito 1v1 for like the final conclusion. It'd be really cool to have three.
You don't think Sukuna's going to be the final battle conclusion?
I think that would be sick too.
No. Yeah. No, it certainly can be that, but
I think he's talking about specifically inside of
just
Mahito's character arc.
Mahito's character arc. Sure. Yep. So I don't know. I would, but it would say if it's a 3v1, then it would feel more like Mahito is the final boss and not Sukuna, right? Like if it was that big of a fight, that it would need to be that way. But it just is kind of. It just sets a weird feeling, I guess, on how this is going to go. Like, it certainly can be fine that Yuji and Mahito have a 1v1 to finish the whole thing. But just now that Nobara is involved in a Mahito fight like this, and it's like, oh, yeah, I've been analyzing you. Like, I know your ability. I know what I can use against you now.
And I'm a counter to it even. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just so hard to see her not involved. And it's like, okay, and if she's going to be involved in the final fight against Mahito, then you got to assume fucking Megumi is too. I mean, at least I do. Like, we're going to figure out a way to get them all in there.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption. I could
But
see
yeah, I
it
don't know.
definitely
Just
being
trying to-
like Yuji and
Just trying to wrap my head around that.
yeah,
what could
Yuji and
happen there.
Nobara being hard counters to Mahito while he's in his like his strongest form. Whenever that fight that you're talking about, that hypothetical situation, like if we do see that, Mahito will obviously be at the pinnacle of his like existence. You know what I mean? He'll be like peak Mahito. And then it'll be like Yuji and Nobara as hard counters to him to prevent him from just like running rampant throughout the entire fight because he's so broken. And then Megumi will be there to provide whatever Shikigami backup either of them need at any point in time, or maybe like provide a snare,
The domain expansion
or a
too, I
domain
think.
expansion even too. Yeah,
And that's because like Mahito, presumably, okay, we see that when he combines two souls, they reject each other, and you get that body repel shit, right? But like, what if he can get around that eventually and he starts taking souls in and, you know, fusing himself with other souls until he becomes some big giant ass, you know, thing that they got to fight.
Holy
like then
shit.
it would have to be a 3v1 situation, right?
Sure.
You would think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Just thinking about the future here. I mean, it's a long way away, probably 400 chapters away.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, but I don't know. Not enough good things to say about this chapter, bro. I love the representation that Nobara is getting, especially after all of the. It's been a long time since she tried to fight Shigemo, and that had people feeling like a certain kind of way about her. But I love how Gege, like, obviously knew how that was going to look probably, and had this in the back pocket. Like, wait till Nobara come back, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, then there's going to be no questions at all about what her place is in the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? And I love how we get that reassurance back in here, because it's like what that Shigemo fight did with Nobara. Even though it was very short-lived and it seemed like she might have been like underperforming, we still got to see a lot of really tight shit from her there. Like, she gets hit in the jaw, which obviously physically and you know, scientifically or whatever, anatomy-wise, we know that getting hit right there rattles the brain around and you lose, like, you know, motor functions to a certain degree. And that's why she kind of like slumped down for a second. She had trouble standing up. She had the wobbly knees. We've seen it. We watch boxing. We know what the fuck that shit means. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool how we get that, because obviously Shigemo is a character that uses, you know, cowardly sneak attacks. That's like his thing, is to sneak up on you and hit you with something that you weren't expecting. So obviously we're going to see, like, you know, the extent of that strategy to some degree in his like first 1v1 situation, and that happened to be against Nobara. But what that fight or what that confrontation showed is that her ability to think clearly after taking a hit like that, which we totally saw like inner monologues of her trying to recover from that when she was talking to Shigemo. She's like, I need to buy time until I get, you know, control of my faculties again. So keep talking to him until I can stand again. Then as soon as she stands again, she shows like resilience and resolve that she's going to go back and re-engage even after taking a devastating hit like that. So like we got like amazing a Nobara moment there, even though it wasn't like a one-sided badass wallop. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I love that. And then especially coming back into this Mahito situation with Nobara, like showing that she can hold her own in a situation like this, that obviously Yuji is also taking part in. It just like rebalances that like main cast trio, you know, scale, you know what I mean? Where before it might have been tipped in a certain kind of way. Now it seems a little bit more even as far as what each member is capable of. So love it.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, shit. I think that's about all I had for Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Well, then, with that, I think we can go ahead and move right into chapter 86 of Chainsaw Man. Date Chainsaw.
Who wouldn't want to, you know?
Bro, this fucking chapter, I really don't really have much to say besides the end. But this shit really was funny as hell, though.
Just some gaggy.
Knox, ain't you a DDR master?
Oh man, I was about to.
I'm DDR master.
Yeah, I was gonna save it. But yeah, definitely.
All right, Nickums is DDR master. Okay, I knew somebody on the
bro,
panel.
I'll see you on the pad. I'll see you on the pad
Beat
now.
Saber flexing over here myself. You know what I'm saying?
Say what?
Beat Saber.
Beat Saber.
Oh, that's the VR.
That
thing is so
VR. That's the
Oh,
VR
that's tight.
Guitar Hero, my G.
Bro, I was okay. You're talking
shit.
to a motherfucker that's been on Step Mania for a couple of years now, for about a decade. You know what I'm saying? Don't sleep on Step Mania.
But yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Beat Saber is that shit.
I'm just fat as hell. I play the old-fashioned games where I just push the buttons on the controller.
Britney's Dance Beat on PS2. Britney Spears
No,
DDR.
Will tire you the fuck out for real. You really got to dance playing Beat Saber, or you will fail.
It's always wild seeing people at cons doing DDR. I'm like, didn't you drink all day? I was with you. I saw you. I drank.
Yep.
What?
Every time. I regret it every time, but it's fun every time.
Yeah.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Getting into the chapter.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
DDR
love that this
Kobeni.
dude-
Oh yeah.
I love this dude is like, this is a hidden camera prank. There's no way anyone could trip
be a
twice in
punk.
the situation.
Yeah.
Show yourself. This is a prank.
this
Come on,
is-
Ashton
God.
Kutcher.
Ashton,
Where's
where are you?
Ashton? Yeah.
And this is middle part, dude, right? The dude that was being an asshole. Like this is the
Yep, this is the guy who wanted to die,
Yeah.
for
this
sure.
is middle
Yeah.
part.
And then
He
so
needed it.
I feel
Yes.
like someone said this last episode, or right? But Kobeni builds the burger back, right? She picks it up off the floor, gives it the chainsaw, and Chainsaw's fine with it, right? Because Denji just said, "I want to try a burger that isn't rotten,"
Isn't
right?
rotten.
And Chainsaw ate a one bite and was like, "Did it."
Yep.
So I think someone said that, or someone that's in the chat or in the Discord, or someone said
definitely,
like,
because it's just Puchita, right? Like it's
Yep.
Puchita in control right now, and he's just trying to fulfill Denji's dreams. Clearly, and
Right.
it's like that's all that he needed for that. Which is funny because it's like, okay, since he did take the bite of the hamburgers, are hamburgers erased from existence now?
no, he didn't eat all of the hamburger.
Eat the
devil.
hamburger devil.
How about ice cream?
Hamburglar?
The
Is ice cream
devil.
erased from existence now? There you
Not
go.
the ice cream devil, obviously not.
I know. I know. Can I just have fun? Jeez.
No,
No,
fun.
not on this
The
show.
Hamburglar?
Not on the chainsaw bag
Hamburglar?
segment.
I saw a fucking meme where this dude had a license plate that said Hamburglar, and he was in the McDonald's drive-through. The dude behind him took
my
a picture and captioned it, "Shit's about to go down."
Oh my
Oh
god.
my God.
Low key. But yeah, then he heads up Kobeni here and drags her ass on a date. Gets some
They
ice
destroy
cream,
the
stuff
ice
like
cream
that.
truck.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I thought it was fucking hilarious how this dude comes up on on bully shit like, "Hey man, I took the dispatch call. I'm finna take your ass out." And then the next panel is literally just his head on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when she's like, Chainsaw Man's like, Vance, like she's like dancing. Okay, cuts open the money machine, gets the money. She's dancing. She's amazing at the dancing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you see, as she's dancing, this panel on page 11, the dude's just dead. Pool of blood. He's
Yeah.
just on the ground, like
Right
just dead.
behind him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
hilarious.
god.
Well, it's
Yeah.
funny too because you get the whole page of her being amazing, doing breakdancing, doing a
Yeah.
fucking upside down somersault, hitting
Yep.
it,
Yeah.
and then the next panel is she's awkwardly like 1, 2,
Yeah.
1, 2,
Is that
3,
just like in her
4.
mind she's killing it, but she's like actually not good at the game?
No,
I think
actually
she's good
was
at it.
killing it.
Oh, or
Yeah.
maybe
No,
it's
she
just, or
actually
it's just
was,
an
because she is
exaggerated
good.
representation of like what the game is showing plus her movements. So it okay.
It's actually her killing the game because she is
getting grace.
extremely agile and fast, and that's the thing. It's like, so I just truly believe that Kobeni is like the most important character, like plot wise, that's going to happen in this near future because she's like the one true ally left for Denji, right?
Yeah.
Like there's so many reasons why. Like she's been shown terrified and weak like a million times when we clearly know she's not. She's faster than the snake devil freely with no devil power. She just jumped over it, blah, blah, blah,
That's right.
ran up, cut fucking Katana Man's arm off with a butcher knife, and
Yeah.
fucking held Sawatari up like, do something, I'm gonna kill her. It's
Yeah.
like, where the fuck did all that come from? It's like,
and where did that
she's
go?
Clearly, exactly that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The devil remains a secret still throughout all this time. She stated clearly that my devil's a secret, and we've never seen it. And we speculated it. Maybe it was last episode, 2 episodes ago, whatever it was. She quits public safety 3 times at the end of every arc, which. You take it as just comedic. It's like Fujimoto's like great subversion this whole time because it's like it's been comedic, but it's like she's been separating herself from Magima until the job starts, and she comes back and says, "Oh no, we're supposed to get bonuses. I got to come back and get my bonus." Or it's like she's like somehow being separated from Makima's plans. Like she's the only one we've never seen under Makima's control. Like we know she's not under Makima's control. You wouldn't be all fucking skittish and weird and fucking, she's the one like unplanned fucking unforeseen thing in Makima's entire fucking scheme here.
Yeah, she's skating
Kobeni's
underneath
about to
that
come
radar.
out and activate.
Yeah.
She's gonna come out and like this is just great subversion by Fujimoto, which you have to, if you're gonna have this character, like if subvert it from like the most conniving, like clearly like most clever fucking character in this story. You got to fucking subvert it from your audience too at the same time.
Right.
So yeah, like
Sure.
it's
So Benny's
perfect.
really about to turn up, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that.
She is. She's her. I mean, we've talked about her devil, and I remember, you know, we were trying to come up with a word for like what we thought her devil was, and I remember in one of our other chats, M said something like misfortune, right? Misfortune devil, which I mean, it's so hard to like think about like what a misfortune devil would really bring, because it's like, okay, you have all this misfortune, but like at the end of the day, you're never going to die. Like nothing actually like super misfortune is going to happen to you. Only these like little tiny, well, I guess I couldn't say this is a tiny thing. This is a pretty big, like her just being hemmed up by a fucking, you know,
Yeah, she didn't die.
Right, but
She's
then that
dying,
goes. But then, like maybe the greater her personal misfortune, the stronger like her devil attack, whenever it does come out, is going to be based on what she's had to experience in unluck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
Right.
Points card in Final Fantasy or whatever.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So like if she experiences minor inconveniences, then maybe she just gets, I don't know, whatever kind of like physical stat boost that we saw when she was fighting in like the Katana Devil arc. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then like when it's like a really huge, major unlucky inconvenience to Kobeni, or maybe she can like stock up, you know, this unluck until she explodes it, you know, at you or whatever, or maybe the effect only lasts a certain amount of time after she experiences the misfortune, whatever. But like I can totally see it being like, okay, this is one of the unluckiest situations that she's seen herself in so far. You know what I'm saying? She's at work trying to go through the motions, and then a giant chainsaw lord comes and kills her entire faculty, almost gives her a fucking heart attack, makes her fucking like play DDR with a dead man behind her. Like she's clearly going through it physically, psychologically. You know what I'm saying? Like she is not having a good time right now. You know what I mean? So maybe like she does activate here, especially now because the scene kind of ends with Denji obviously like noticing Makima, but him being surrounded at the same time by all of these zealots of Makima, and a lot of them, most of them, if not all of them, are previous characters that we've seen already that have come back from the dead for the most part. I know that Katana Devil didn't die.
First four are not.
Katana
first
Devil,
four are new characters.
Well, yeah, Well, are they? Because I'm pretty sure one of them is the Katana Devil.
That's not the
That's
first
the
one.
third.
That's the fifth.
That's the fifth.
That's in the next three.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because isn't this dude with the glasses buddy with the fucking like Medusa like stone powers?
Nope.
not
He
him.
got
had
killed,
slick
and the
back
haircut
hair,
is
and-
different, and the glasses are
Yeah,
different.
it's
Okay.
slick back hair. He was
Oh,
small
yep.
and skinny. Yeah,
He had
yeah.
no
And-
goatee.
Okay, so these are four new
yeah.
characters.
The
Yes.
first
Oh
four.
my
And-
god, Jin Jin said this fourth one with the long black hair said that this was like the commissioner of Team Toguro in Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah,
Sakyo.
Yeah, Sakyo.
Yeah, I was
that's funny.
crying,
That's
bro.
hilarious.
But yeah, okay, so these are four brand new characters. That's fine. But then we obviously see Retsei here, Katana Devil
Fucking
here,
Retsei,
and
bro.
Quan Chi at the very end here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
super interesting and
Oh, yeah.
has me super curious. Obviously, we can just assume that she controls
we
them
all-
now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we all were like under the presumption, pretty much hard stance
Yeah.
that like she
Yep.
can't control hybrids.
Yep.
And now that's turned on its head.
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
we
think
know
so.
why.
But
now.
these
We
characters
know
are
why.
dead. These
We-
characters died
yeah.
already and are
Yeah.
now.
No, have they died?
Well, we
Because
don't know
all
if
you got to
they've
do is
died,
feed
but-
them blood. Yeah, and all
Right.
you got to do is feed them blood, and they revive. It doesn't.
True.
Hybrids don't really die. So I mean, they can, but like, yeah, as long as you feed them blood, they'll revive just fine. And
Okay.
so we know why she can control hybrids and can't control Denji. You know, it's just because she looks up to Chainsaw Man, and that's part of the stipulation of her control devil.
Yep.
But so I assume all seven of these are hybrids. These first four are also hybrids as well.
Yeah.
I believe.
Ooh.
Yeah, that
I
makes
believe
sense.
all seven are.
Yeah,
Well,
I love
because
that.
here's the
'Cause the
other thing
last three
too
are.
is
Yeah, it makes sense.
yep. And she had 7 dogs in her apartment.
Wait a
Seven
minute.
seven deadly sins. Since we've already got the 9 choirs of angels or whatever.
Oh,
Like it's
Get out of
it's-
here!
It's definitely coming. I mean,
Let's
and,
go!
you know, at this point, it's not even the 7 deadly sins; it's the 7 deadly simps. At this point, 'cause you got all of them.
But
Yo, it's the 7 Deadly Simps. Is that the title of the episode? Oh, we'll see.
I hate Makima for bringing back my girl Retsei like this, bro. Like,
Bro, but she looks so
it's
fucking cool though. At the same time, like, you know, I
Yeah.
love how seeing Retsei here. She got that thing poking out the side a little bit.
Well,
you know what I'm
and
saying?
I
We see
had to
some
go
hip
look back
action
too.
going.
I had to go look back too because I thought she always had the pin on the neck no matter what.
Oh,
and that's not true. When after they fought and they washed up on the beach, she no longer had the pin on her neck. So
Gotcha.
I was really convinced there was something there, but had to go literally an hour's worth of work to be like, nope, nothing there.
Didn't find shit. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Wow though, man.
But yeah. Why is Quan Chi holding Makima's womb? That's got to be significant.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we've
Because
already
they're
saw
her
like the
children
chains
now.
extend from there. Exactly.
Yeah.
We saw the chains extend from there at one point. Like that's got to be significant. I don't know why yet.
It might just be symbolic, like all this other stuff has been
be.
super symbolic. But yeah, it's a great.
Yeah.
I did not notice that. That's a great spot.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that she actually has to defeat. I think that's like another like unsaid caveat or condition to her power is that I think she actually has to defeat those hybrids to control them. Because wouldn't she have just jumped on the scene and just controlled them right from the beginning without having to, go through, I'm going to squash fucking Katana Man's whole fucking team from, and it's like Retsei, is right at the end and you had, Angel Devil there and you didn't really see exactly what happened, but, you were supposed to believe like that Katana Man and Retsei were dead, and then Quan Chi too gets beheaded, and it's like you're supposed to believe.
I think we
that,
saw Retsei die though, or Retsei lose to Makima in that scene. Though.
She got impaled by one of Angemon's spears, I thought, from the roof.
I remember she was going to activate, and then Angemon sliced her arm off before she could pull the pin, and then
she got impaled.
And then she got impaled
and
again,
stuck into the ground. Yeah,
and then there was like a dialogue, there was like an exchange, and then the scene ended before we actually saw like a or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely the biggest question with Makima as you're reading, right, and learning more of her abilities and why she can do what she does. The biggest question that I hear whenever I talk to people about Chainsaw Man is like, why doesn't Makima do X? Why didn't Makima do X back before, right? Because if she can control people, why doesn't she just control people, right? And I honestly, the only thing I can think of, other than like what you're saying, Kiko, that there is a rule that we don't really have explicit listed yet, but it is that she has to defeat people. If it's not that, all I can think of is that like she doesn't want to be known as much as she could be known, right? But then again, everyone seems to know about her. All these groups trying to kill her, the President Bill Clinton, you know what I mean? All these people know about her already, the Prime Minister of Japan. So it's not like she has to be super secret with her abilities. So would you say that that's not what it is? It's not that she wants to be secret? It has to be something else?
Probably. I mean, I would say that she would still want to be secret, but that doesn't hide you from the ultimate intelligence of superpowers governments. Yeah. That she definitely could still be trying to go under the radar and just has failed in that way. But I just think that it's having some kind of mana pool like makes sense, or X amount of people to control or whatever. Maybe a hybrid counts. Like
we said that last time though, and now with. It's not just the angels; it's these 7 deadly simps or whatever, right? So like, the mana pool keeps growing, and now I'm wondering: is there actually a mana pool?
Right.
Well, it just because
there still could be.
I wouldn't say that it's growing. It's just we're seeing that it's been we're seeing how it's being utilized. I guess I would say because it's like if
our understanding of it is growing. Like we figured, okay, maybe it's just 10 people, Maybe it's only 20, but now it's like, okay, it's the angels, those 9, and now these 7, and now who knows how many other people she has under control.
I just think there's something really specific.
There could be a summon limit.
Yeah,
right. There could be, but it keeps increasing the more we see more people.
Right.
Under
I think there just also is something very specific with hybrids, in particular, being that they're 2 beings in one. That she has to. It's a lot harder to feel superior to a dual being, right? Like if you're a single being, I'm just the control devil. Regardless if me being the control devil is stronger than what the katana devil was before it was a hybrid, doesn't mean that I'm superior to it now that you're a dual being. Like I just, and she already talked about the only way, like she's already controlled Denji
Right.
After she broke the contract, so like,
Or maybe it's a situation where it's like,
specific.
okay, you specifically as a person, I'm above you, but I don't know if I'm above your devil or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm above this devil, but like, do I see myself as above you? You know what I mean? Like the person it's contracted with. So because it's two different entities, it might be hard for her to confirm that greater than status for both of them simultaneously. So that makes it harder for her to control them.
Well, and it makes a lot of sense in the case of devils, because it's like every human on here, well, we can't say everyone because we don't know who the first four are, but of the last three, she knows she's superior to Katana Man as a person because he's just a fucking low-life Yakuza fucking, son. Retse is a fucking experimented fucking Russian war
Sleeper
orphan
cell
or whatever.
agent,
Sleeper cell agent, yeah, exactly. Quan Chi's the only one that you could say, okay, maybe Makima doesn't feel superior to her as a human before you factor in her hybrid, her other devil half. So yeah, I don't know. Like, there's
Or
and
is
she
it
only
now
she only reached a point where she felt like she was above Quan Chi when Quan Chi surrendered herself to her because she had her other girls hostage. So now that you are like submitting yourself to me, okay, I'm above you now. Boom, dead, and now you're controlled. Yeah.
That definitely I think would activate her ability, or clear the threshold of her conditions for her ability. But I would say that like maybe the hybrid open question is, the hybrids can regenerate with blood, right? A devil, you can kill a devil. You can kill a fiend. You can kill a person. But a hybrid is always like in this state of pseudo still living. As long as they get blood, like they could still be around. And maybe that is what's confusing her ability, that like, I don't know, like maybe you'd come back to life. There's nothing I can really do about it, right? I don't know. It's hard to say.
It
Definitely. Yeah.
That's all I had for this chapter, though.
Yeah, like Knox said, there's not a lot to take from this, other than I laughed my ass off for the first fucking 6 fucking pages, bro. I giggled my fucking ass off. Bro.
It's really it's heavy and loaded in this chapter, like
Yeah.
Just hijinks until page fucking 12.
Yeah.
How can this story be so funny and so serious at the same time? Like, it's just amazing how Fujimoto can do this with this just one chapter. I mean, and he did it last chapter really too, but this chapter I feel like even more so, where it was like literally the first
that's just like his thing that he does, right? He like has like the front loaded humor that might have like hidden things like inside of the visual storytelling that you might not notice at first because it's funny, but then like eventually it transitions into a very serious scene with like heavy implications, like like left towards the end of it, where it's like, okay, what the fuck is going to happen next? Because this is a huge cliffhanger that was front loaded with comedy. It just makes like a bunch of like things to like speculate on and like think about and like maybe even potentially talk about inside of a chapter that felt like it was so quick because of that front loaded comedy in the front. But all of a sudden we get to the end and it's like, holy shit, what is this situation that we're in right now? So I feel like it's a good balance in regards to Fujimoto's storytelling, that he's already established. This does not feel arbitrary or random at all. This is definitely very par for the course for Fujimoto. You know what I mean? And it's just like...
Yeah, it's just, I mean, just going back, like when I was reading it the second time, like I tried to actually like make all of Kobeni's noises she's going through as she's like trying to reassemble the burger and whatnot, like wah, get away from me. Like it's just like, if you really lean into it, it's even funnier.
You put yourself in the scene.
And I mean, there's just nothing funnier than Kobeni doing Dance Revolution. I swear to God, it's the funniest fucking panel I may have ever seen in my life.
I like the ice cream. It doesn't taste like anything.
I just noticed that the arrows on the Dance Revolution are mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it is Dance Mushroom is the game.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yes, it says on the arcade machine on page 8.
Yes, it does. Wow, did not notice that. That's hilarious.
Copyright.
Yeah.
Careful now.
Getting pretty close.
Relax.
Funny as hell, bro. Wait, what?
Good
what?
Shit. Yeah. That's like the announcer, like heating up.
Oh yeah.
You're doing it. So good. That's all I had though for this chapter.
I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
Well, all right then. With that, I think we can go ahead and move right into chapter 32 of Mashle. Mosh burned dead. and a surprising strike.
Yes.
And let me just say this color spread.
Yeah,
this cover page.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I love this, and
Oh, yeah.
I love fucking Abel's colors. Man,
Yes.
the white hair with the purple tips, that's just so fuego
Yeah,
to me.
that's so sick.
I don't know why.
super sick.
I love that. Baby's creepy as shit.
And the purple
colored.
inlays on his jacket and shit.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
the axe. Yeah, dude.
Mwah.
Yeah, this is great.
Well, and like he's got fur, you know. Is he like the Cameron or witches
The
or
mink
something?
coat?
Or mages? Like,
I told you.
I mean,
was
he's
in here
fur on
looking
his
like,
robe.
He got the
it's-
mink on.
UGK.
but it's a
Yeah,
but
he
it's-
did say
yeah, I know,
UGK.
yeah. Well,
Pimp
yeah.
C.
But it's
Yeah.
like Pimp C. But it's on the robe. Like I just didn't really notice that it was on like the robe. Like I thought he had like a different type of like.
Oh,
but it's
like
like the
thing.
same
Besides
robe as
that.
everybody
Some shit.
else.
Yeah, but it's just got fur.
It's just got fur. It's the same robe everybody else in his house wears. They just got fur on it. Yeah, whatever. It's stunning,
I'm
I
here
guess.
for it. I mean, if you're the leader, they probably got to give you a different kind of outfit. You know what I'm saying? They got to give you something with a little extra on it. That motherfuckers can know you the guy. But
Right.
that's just
Yeah,
cool that they
yeah.
even do that. Or maybe he had it personally tailored. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got the Kaido tips, you know, but you know they're purple.
Yeah.
You know how that, you know, it's okay, it's cool. It's cool, you know.
It's tight.
Yeah.
It's tight.
Hell yeah.
So we hear this dude saying, I thought the Rain, you know, the divine visionary, was the only one who was capable of facing the evil eye.
Yes.
And that's actually surprising to me because I wasn't even sure any magic user would really be able to stand up to the evil eye.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
your magic is nothing. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? Right.
Yeah.
But apparently there is a level at which, like, where Rain is at, where high level magic users at, that you can actually beat the evil eye, which is, I think, very
Right.
interesting for the power scaling for the whole, you know, magic system generally.
Then you ask the question,
Yeah.
like, okay, so are they overcoming the evil eye because they're just like outmaneuvering it and not getting their magic canceled and like maybe attacking him
Right.
in a way that's effective before the magic eye can cancel it? Maybe they stay out of range of the eye because they're just that capable as a mage? Or is
Right.
it my level is so high as a mage that your anti-magic does not affect me? You know what I mean?
Or
It's my
doesn't
power
suppress me
level.
enough.
Or doesn't suppress me enough. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I
so,
don't
like,
remember.
it's-
Do you actually have to like look in his eye to make it happen? Like, because maybe Rain's just skillful enough to not let himself fall under.
Right.
I don't know.
anti-magic?
I don't know.
That's definitely a
I
I
very
think if it
interesting
looks
question.
at you, I think.
Well, no,
I think that's
because
it.
Lance got his shit canceled while he still had the mask on, and he had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
And I don't think he.
Yeah,
was
so
looking
did
him
he
in the
look
eye at
him
that
in the
time.
eye through the
There's
mask?
still eye holes in the mask. Yeah.
Right, but like, did he like make? Do we know that he made eye contact with the evil eye, like with the mask?
I
on,
kind of
like,
doubt it.
together?
I kind of
Yeah.
doubt the eye contact is the, you know.
I feel like it's just the
factor.
direction you're
I think
looking
you can
in.
just,
You're
yeah.
canceling the magic in anywhere
Yeah.
that eye sees.
Yeah, I
It's
think
like
so.
Eraserhead, you know, like Erasure.
Right.
Like if he's looking at you,
Yeah,
your shit's canceled.
Right.
I think isn't that eye contact though? Doesn't there have to be an initially
No,
eye
no,
contact
that's
to start it?
No,
no.
no.
Could have sworn
With
it
Eraser?
was with Eraserhead.
No,
Yeah, with
that's what's-
Aizawa. I
He's
thought
just
so.
got to look at.
He didn't. He doesn't need to look at Shigaraki in the eye to
activate it.
Mm,
To activate it, and
I-
then you can keep it as long as his eyes are open, regardless of where the dude is looking.
That seems like an easy out for his ability. Shigaraki closes his eyes and can now use his ability. I don't think that's how it works.
Right.
I mean,
but it's just
it wasn't
the
that
point of-
easy for in Naruto to not.
So
look
you're
them in the
saying that
eyes,
he-
you know?
Right. Yeah. No, I'm saying
is.
You're saying that
They're
once he
dumb.
confirms eye contact, as long as he can keep his eyes open, it doesn't matter where the dude goes. But like, no,
Where
he's
the
got to
dude looks.
follow him with his
Yeah,
sight.
no,
He has to
but
be
he doesn't have to
actively looking at him
maintain
the
the
whole time.
eye contact the entire time to erase
He
you.
never
Yeah,
has to
yeah,
get
yeah.
it.
I really don't
Right,
think that's
right.
it.
I don't know. I know that's what you guys are
Yeah,
saying.
that's-
I was
that's
just
the
saying,
question.
Like, yeah,
That's-
that's the
yeah,
question.
definitely.
You
Yeah.
thought he was,
Yeah. Anyway,
I
I
did
don't
too.
remember that ever
personally, yeah.
being stated, but
yeah. I feel
thought
like
it
I
was
do
just he has to
remember it
look
being
at you.
stated, and that's why I'm saying it.
I
feel
thought
like-
so too in
Yeah, I
the
feel-
USJ arc.
Well,
Yeah,
hit
yeah.
us in the comments
Yes,
if
let
you
us
know
in
the answer to this
comments.
question.
Yes, please, because if that gives us more insight into the evil eye, I don't know why it would, but like I feel like yeah, but I mean like
Totally
if it
different
is
story, yeah,
totally
it's
different
like-
story, but like I'm just saying like as far as like conversation goes and as far as predictability goes, we can reference like
Right.
things like Naruto.
Because if
and
it's
things like
not,
My Hero Academia, as far as like what eye activation goes in regards to like completely canceling your ability
Yeah.
or completely
But okay, but if it even if it is eye contact, right? Like
Yeah.
if you look in what was his name?
Abyss Razor.
Abyss Razor.
Razor.
If you look in his eyes, then you have your magic taken away. But that means anyone smart enough could, avoid that ability by just not having eye contact with him, right?
Right.
So I don't
Assuming
think,
you know that.
Assuming you know
yes,
that.
but I don't think that's what A.M.A.N.G.A is
Yeah.
suggesting here.
Right,
That
right, right.
I didn't think you were smart
Or
as
able.
Rain. No,
Able.
no. Sorry, Abel.
Yeah,
Sorry. I was trying to remember his name.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like I don't think that's what he's implying here. I think he's implying that Rain is like higher level in some other way, strategy or magic level.
Yes.
And so, I don't think it's eye contact.
Yeah, I don't think it's...
because it makes you feel like, okay, is there just like a level to mana? It's like, okay, if I'm at 100 and you're at 90, you can't hit me with your eye or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or is my magic level is above like a 7 out of 10, then your evil eye can't dispel.
Just won't work ever.
On me. Yeah.
Right.
That's a super nerf to that ability. Like, and I think it would be better if like,
I feel like it's indiscriminate.
I don't know.
And then you can either just like find you're skilled enough to not become susceptible to it in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying?
Although if you're thinking
too
about
fast, or you hit a preemptive strike, or some kind of combination of like whatever your abilities are that make you a capable fighter or mage, you just overcome the evil eye just with that, and it's not like I'm too tight to be affected by this ability, even if it hits me point blank.
And I mean, you should be riding with this really, Kiko, because that kind of supports more so your line of thinking. I think last episode where you were saying that you were kind of thinking that Rain Ames is like within the top third as far as strength goes of any character we'll see in this series.
Yeah. Yep.
So if he's in the top third echelon of characters as far as strength, then he is in that tier that can say "fuck your evil eye."
And I
That's
agree
not necessarily a big nerf to the ability, because if it's only the top third of motherfuckers that are able to do that,
I think it still would be, because it's like no matter what, at the end of the day, if your ability just doesn't work on people that are too strong, then it just doesn't work, because it's like, okay, what we're going to be using it against Lemon every time? It's like, the ability is nerfed,
right? And that's where I don't think it's power level at all.
And
I think it's
maybe it's
eye contact to the body, and Rain would just be smart enough to strategize around it.
Yeah.
maybe it's just less effective. Could be. Maybe it necessarily doesn't not work at all, but maybe it's just less effective. And his magic is just so tight that it would still be a W on Rain's part, because he's
eye contact,
even with reduced power on his magic.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for the split second, like that's a perfect condition for this stuff, because it's like what Nick, you're saying, like just don't look at him in the eye.
No, not the eye.
Impossible.
You need to dodge around a corner.
No,
I think the eye contact has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, he's saying if the eye contact did have something to do with it.
Oh, sure.
If it did, yeah. It's such a huge nerf, or not nerf. It's just a huge condition in a battle, because and I just loved when during Kid Naruto, when but M.A.N.G.A comes in and kicks the shit out of Kisame, to back him off, and he's telling Asuma, like, okay, I fought Kakashi so many times. I can deduce your fighting style by just looking at your bottom half, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever have to look at you. And then Asuma even says, okay, that's great for you since you've been doing this for 20 years, but we cannot do it. It's impossible for us to do it. Like, so it's
I remember that scene.
It makes so much sense. Like, it's such a perfect condition to an eye ability, because even if you don't look at him in the eye, it's not like you can actually fight anywhere near your full potential if you're not actually looking at somebody's complete, everything that they got going on. And yeah, you could have something with Rain, since now that we see that he's got sword magic, that he could just hide behind swords. Like, he could have big ass swords just come down and
make
just hide and then use them. Blind spots. Yeah. So like that's fine.
Yeah. Maybe it wouldn't be so big of a nerf to that's the condition, because most people, you're going to look directly in your opponent's eyes generally to see their intent. I look over here, they're going to go over there, right?
Exactly.
What Guy was talking about though made a lot of sense. Like, you can definitely determine what a person is doing based on watching their hips and their feet.
Yep.
If you're skilled.
If you focus on certain ways and torque their hips in certain ways to do certain moves.
Right.
So you can ascertain if you're a skilled fighter.
If you're a taijutsu specialist who has 12 black belts in every fighting style and knows like what stances mean what.
And has already faced an opponent where he has to like prioritize that like kind of like training, right? Because it's like if you're fighting Gojo forever and or if you're fighting Kakashi or whatever, and that you can't be looking at this motherfucker, then like obviously over time, you're going to be like, okay, how can I fight him without looking at him? Everybody else, Asuma and everyone was like, we haven't had to do that. We could do that if that was our circumstances in life, but they haven't been up until this point. So what do we do?
On their part.
Well, sure, but like you don't know to train something until you have a reason to.
Who has done that? Hey, what's up?
Eagle,
like,
Eagle,
pass that knowledge on, my guy.
Let's not make it sound like Naruto's that well thought out here. That Kishimoto actually planned to have all his characters not look at Sharingan in the eye, because if he did, that would be some next level shit.
Yeah.
But then it nerfs Sharingan a little bit. Obviously, you got to have but that's why it's such a good that always made so much sense to me. It's like,
it makes sense to me too.
You clearly can't look somebody in the eye, and if you're not looking at what they're doing totally, it's extremely hard to fight them. So
that's fair. I definitely will grant you that point for sure.
Yes. But then going into the conversation with Abel and Mash, there's a moment here where he's like, I thought Rain was the only student capable of facing the evil eye. You can't possibly be a better magic user than Rain, but could it be that? And then he
and
gasps.
Before he even says, he gasps.
Yeah. And he's like, huh?
Funny.
He's like, oh. He's like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, oh, no, nothing. Please go on. You didn't. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't.
And then he goes on and he's like, whew, okay. In any case, he seemed quite capable. He's like, oh, shit. Oh, dodged a bullet there.
Yeah.
At first, I was confused by it. I had to read it a second time.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, it's just that he thought that Abel figured out that he has no fucking magic. And then
right.
Okay, that makes all the sense in the world. But at first, I was like, is there something deeper going on here? Like, I was really thinking that something else was happening, like serious that I'm missing big time. But
No. It's that classic shonen protagonists can't lie.
I just thought it was going to be a funny thing where like he was chuckling at the baby or some shit.
Oh, that would be
The next page it would be like him like holding in the laughter, and it would zoom in on him with him thinking, like, yo, that baby
is ridiculous.
He's already said that before. Like when they first like met up too, he's like, you're talking to a doll, right? And that baby's weird. This is weird. I don't. This is weird ass shit going on in here. I'm gonna get out of here.
So then, Abel continues or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes on this long rant about how much of a shitbag him and all his friends are or whatever, right? Like, we're just going to kill everyone who's not magic users. Eugenics, essentially, right? And then I love that Mash remembers his father, his adopted father. And he says, like, your way is kind of a problem for me. I don't think we can be friends or whatever. And I love that, right? I'm not going to try and convince you. Like, you clearly are a shitbag. This ain't gonna work out. I'm gonna have to fight you right now.
Yeah. Well, and I love it that
shit out you.
In the page before on 7, Mash is like, okay, I understand. And then that's what he says. Your way is kind of a problem for me, so I don't think we can be friends. And then the first thing is like ellipses, like, meaning you don't understand.
Right.
It was just a very good especially with how serious it looked like Mash was at first, like.
Yeah, he's like
puts his head down and takes a deep breath on it. Like, okay, wait, no, I mean, I guess we just can't be friends.
Yeah, we just can't kick it. Like, we're not cool, man. And then he starts fighting these dolls. He fucking rushes the dolls at him. Back fists one of them, sees that it's fucking like acidic or corrosive or whatever. Dodges out of the way. Yep. And the reaction speed there is really cool. That's just like I love the paneling here for it. And then he grabs what he's like, oh damn, he's got acid. I don't know what's inside of these dolls. All right, bet bowling ball these motherfuckers. Throws it into that.
Amazing.
Cool. Yeah, and it's like, are we going to see like? Do we have one? I wanted to ask if you guys remember. Do we have another example of him like turning his like fighting style into sports for any reason? But like,
yeah, I think he did.
Okay. Well, you think of that. I'm just saying, like, it'll be so funny since he's such a physically, I
thought he definitely did some shot put shit or something.
Yeah, maybe he did some shot put shit.
Yeah, he did shot put. I think shot. Yeah.
Yeah, but if we just see like different like sports themed attacks from him because he's such a Chad and he's such a meathead, such a meathead, I think that would just be.
I thought we got a javelin style shit from him too.
Maybe we got a javelin thing too from him at one point. Yeah.
But this panel, like, I just love moments like this in anime or manga where like a character will be like preparing to do an attack and they'll just be like.
Yeah,
just that sharp, like deep hiss inhale or exhale, just like
the solo panel dedicated to it. Yeah. And then the perfect form on it too, like oh my god.
That's hilarious.
Oh, then he has a cold-blooded ass quote here. He's like, so you mentioned something about defective genes. If I manage to beat you, what does that say about your jeans? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You could tell he was just like, all right, look, motherfucker. Like Abel was pissed on that. Yeah.
You don't know when to keep quiet.
Yeah, it's like you're telling me to shut up after I roast you. I won.
So he brings out the bigger dolls, and this double spread on 18, 19.
Oh my god!
Holy shit! All these dolls being blown back past Abel or whatever,
and I just
getting knocked out and shit.
I love how like he's the sharpest.
Especially
Abel
the one in the forefront.
Yes, I was literally just about to say like Abel is obviously the sharpest. He's the still form with no extra like illustration techniques dedicated to it. It's literally just Abel, crisp, perfect, and then everything else around him, in front of him and behind him, has some kind of movement like technique like of illustration, whether it's blurred or whether it's got like the motion lines like tack on it inside of its shading or whatever. Like it's just like Abel's in the foreground here, movement around him in the foreground or ahead of that, and then in the background it just makes it look so like dynamic and like beautiful.
So good
of a spread because it's just like I know right where my eyes are supposed to go, and then like
I was even saying just the one right in the foreground, like that one, the first,
the blurry one,
right up close. Well, because the eye busted out being the button that he has buttons on him. Just it was a great callback because the first time that Mash encounters Abel, the one jumps, one of them restrains Mash, and that's why I said you've grown since the last time. Yeah, but he didn't actually. I don't think he actually grew. I just think he just didn't use his ability because right at that time he snatches the fucking. What does he do? He like snatches a button off the shirt, sucks the fucking coin into his mouth with his super fucking lungs, and like throws the coin throw the button to take the place of the coin. And Abel thought he actually had the gold coin at the time. So like it was just something really cool to like see. Something where the buttons too. Like I didn't realize that on the eyes were actually buttons as well. Except for I don't think that's the one that Ash.
No, I think he took out the coat.
Off the coat. Yeah, definitely super cool to see that though.
That's spread. That's my favorite spread. One of my favorite spreads ever.
Beautiful.
So on page 16, the bottom panel. So we get to see at the top panel, it's just all three of the jester-looking dolls or whatever. But the bottom one, you actually get to see like the uvula hanging out the throat. Like fucking. Does that mean these were real people?
Right.
Like.
I don't know.
Just really.
Yeah, it's got a uvula.
Because he tried to turn fucking the rock magic guy into a fucking doll, and it was already into a doll, and then Mash did some shit, whatever, basically
so,
canceled
these
the
are definitely
ability.
people, dude. But he's destroying them. These bigger ones though, he hasn't destroyed. He's just knocked them around. But the smaller ones that don't have more detail to them, obviously you just break those, and then they just like are filled with acid or something like that. So we could probably assume that those aren't people, because if you're going to behead one, probably not a person. You know what I'm saying? But like these guys right here, I don't think he's actually destroying, because these are actual people. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I don't know. It would be crazy if Mash has already deduced that they are actual people and purposely didn't kill them and smash them. Like that takes that to another level I didn't think of. Like I just thought like, are these real people? Did he smash them? Do they have more durability and they didn't get, they just didn't get crushed, and they will. But if he actually knew, I'm just going to use just enough power to, disable them. And not kill him. That's going to be wild. If that's the reveal in next chapter, you heard it here first, because I think that's pretty big.
That's a big deal. Or it's he doesn't know they're people and does destroy them, and then Abel's like, you just killed people, and then it's like,
then
what
we
kind
get
of
a Yuji situation?
It's like, no.
I don't know if we'll go that route in Mashle, because
I don't think so.
That's a darker shonen. Definitely not a gag shonen type of thing. I wouldn't think.
I don't know. I think a couple of these ones might be taken out, because like if you look at this last, page 20, the middle panel. This one looks pretty fucking done.
Oh,
yeah, he's pretty done. He's pretty done.
Mouth all slack jaw,
but he's still intact.
But we've seen Usopp look like that 10 times.
Suck eye in on some fucking
Eagle's fucking like thing for that was like so real. Like I could totally see it, like a Tim Burton movie. You know what I'm saying? Like a click, 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 click. You know what I'm saying? The eye goes back in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then it just smiles at you like.
Yeah, bro. I could totally see that.
The only other thing I thought at the end,
got the pigtail chick, watching in on this, and having her little like kind of tsundere yandere.
She was pretty funny this chapter.
She's so funny this
I just
chapter.
think I should go back home. Take my ass home. I'm out of here.
It's
Fuck
kind of
yeah.
like Handy Hup or Shigemo watching fucking like
Yeah.
Sukuna fight Mahoraga. You know what I mean? He was just like,
Yeah.
oh, holy shit, what's going on here? Yeah.
I was just gonna say
when that comes,
yeah, like just like the last quote he says, another classic badass quote or from MASH, the strong take from the weak, and that's their right?
Yeah.
And when I win, you will tell me where Lemon is with that big ass
With
finger.
that big ass.
He goes doing this.
the double fucking.
I can't. Yeah.
It's too hard to do. It's like impossible.
Yeah, you can't even.
The
Like, what
thing
perspective is
longer.
that? The thing longer from Futurama.
Fucking.
Or I mean, it's just Star Platinum, like long finger. Ah.
That's pretty good.
Funny as hell.
The fucking.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Definitely, using angles to make. Yeah, there you go.
triangles,
That's about
bro.
all I had for this.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, that's all I had.
I am Gucci.
Solid chapter.
Yes.
Solid chapter.
Alrighty then. With that, I suppose we can go ahead and get right into chapter 285 of My Hero Academia. Katsuki
Probably chapter of the week, man.
Bakugo Rising.
Yes,
I think
what a
chapter of the
title.
week.
Chapter
I would
of
say
the
this is chapter of the week too, yeah.
Wow.
Man,
Woohoo!
this chapter's
So
crazy.
we jump in here with a reminder,
Starts off.
another reminder that if Deku uses his arms too much, he
Yes.
will lose his ability to use them. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And he is obliterating Shigaraki, Detroit Smash, Wyoming Smash, St. Louis Smash.
No
he
Minnesota
is
Into the Texas Smash.
yeah, no Minnesota Smash yet, but we'll get it.
We getting it, bro. Watch. Before the end of the series, we're getting Minneapolis or Minnesota Smash. I promise you.
I love this
Or
dialogue.
Smash, baby.
If it's
I
St.
love this
Paul Smash,
dialogue.
I'm gonna be pissed.
Why?
Me too.
Because
I'll be
it's
so
like, come
mad.
on, bro.
What
It's
do
like
you
just
mean,
say
why?
Minnesota or say Minneapolis.
Minneapolis Smash. You could make it one word. Minneapolis Smash.
Yes.
So I love this dialogue
Yeah.
between Shigaraki and Deku, and Shigaraki's like, you're
what
getting in the way of my dreams, and Deku's like, that's what this power is for. Oh my
Yes.
god, he's looking so intense.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
All
Bakugo
y'all
says
motherfuckers on the
plainly.
TL calling my man's Deku a bitch.
Never
Right
again.
now,
Never again.
look at the resolve.
Look at
Yeah,
it.
shit.
He's definitely,
resolve, I will
definitely
give him
going
that.
super hard. Yes,
He
definitely.
always hurts himself to fight people. He's never ran away from a single fight. It's like just because he's realistic on an emotional level and relatable in that way doesn't make him a bitch.
emotions. He a bitch.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, bro, it's like you're literally ignoring. You have to ignore the entire story to make that
Right.
complaint. You know what I mean? And it's like it's
Yeah.
obvious
Yep.
now at this
Yeah.
point. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, Bakugo says plainly, Deku is controlling multiple quirks. He says it
Yep.
plain
says
as
it.
day to everybody.
He
So there will be no confusion here.
Right.
That this will be a very known fact in the world of heroes
Yep.
that Bakugo has one for all.
No.
And-
Midoriya.
Yeah.
Who did I say?
Bakugo, yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly wrong. Yes, yes.
That's movie only.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Or they
Deku
could think
clearly has-
that he's a fucking Nomu.
Yeah.
Certainly,
that's so weird.
you
That
can
is
have
weird.
suspicion. You can have suspicion that you're aligned with them.
Right, but
Yeah, I
like-
don't know how you'd have that suspicion if it's battle, but
Yeah,
you
but
know,
that's a main
it's
point.
an unknown quantity.
That's
Yeah.
a main point of this arc is that everyone is finding out what the Nomus are, and a major thing is that Dr. Eggman is telling, is relaying information to President Mike, like, yo, these things are beings that we genetically engineered to have multiple quirks in them. And now that I think about it, it's like, man, that would be so hard to try to accuse Midoriya of being a Nomu unless this plays into the traitor factor of the plot, like the traitor plot line that still hasn't been entirely resolved
Which is
yet.
so weird.
Which is so
yeah.
weird. So
That's-
now that we
yeah.
have like, okay, Nomu are things with multiple quirks. Midoriya is obviously using multiple quirks. There's a traitor at UA. I could totally see it like turning into a weird situation where like some people really do think that Midoriya is on some like other shit, but obviously he's fighting Shigaraki
Yeah,
with
it's hard
all
for
of
me to
his
believe.
might. Yeah, it's hard for me to believe.
If All Might said no, he's good.
Yeah, then who's gonna
It's
argue
like,
with that?
what are you gonna say to All Might? The goodest boy, you know?
All right.
Well, and it's like-
Forget that.
Wouldn't this be the time for the traitor to like activate, like as Gigantomachia is like tearing through
That's what I
shit?
thought.
He's like, and like jumps up on his back and shit, like with.
Or maybe
with
the traitor
lead
has
or
already
whatever.
done their job, and we just haven't had that confirmed by the villainous side yet. You know
Or
what
the
I'm saying?
traitor is at this scene,
Yeah.
not with Gigantomachia yet.
Yeah, maybe the traitor's like already done their thing, and like what the traitor did has like helped the villains in some way throughout, or will help the villains in some way behind the behind the scenes, outside of the obvious light here that they've already kind of.
The traitor is Hawks, and he's a quadruple agent
Oh my god.
or something.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Too
if
many.
it was at this scene, it would have to be Todoroki, Bakugo, or Deku. That's the only.
Yeah,
people
it's
from
not
UA.
any of them.
Well,
Yeah.
it
Not
could be
any
someone
of them.
injured though.
I was gonna say Rocklock, but true, yeah.
It doesn't have to be
But-
a student.
I don't know if it has to be a
I
student.
thought
but
it was
definitely
implied
has to
implied.
be
That.
a
I thought it's
teacher,
always
too.
been implied that it was like a student.
Yeah,
Really?
It has.
But I
I'm
could
pretty
be
sure
wrong.
it was implied it was a student too. We've all speculated students
because they're
for a
trying to
long
take
time, and I
advantage
don't
of like
think-
the students' like home situation of some kind. Like you're poor, you need this in some kind of way,
Yeah.
like or
Interesting.
whatever. I think I just remember that.
So that means Ochako's the traitor. She's the one who's poor, right?
Yeah.
But
That'd be wild.
yeah,
Wow.
whatever. That'd be so crazy.
Stains,
But yeah.
Stains off in Ochako right away.
Yo.
But
Right. So page 5.
Yes.
Page 5, there's a quote that I really want us to talk about. And so basically, Shigaraki is getting walloped by Deku, and he says, "There's gotta be a way to put this kid down for good. Some other quirk. I gotta," implied I, gotta find one,
Yeah.
right? And then immediately after that dialogue, Bakugo starts talking. Is Shigaraki going to find Bakugo's ability and take it from him?
Oh my god, bro.
well, I mean,
Ties
if
into
we
the rest of
wanna
the
jump to
chapter, but-
I was
Yeah.
gonna say if we want to jump to the end of the chapter, yeah,
Sure.
I mean we certainly can.
Well, and then Deku has
well-
to go the rest of the series possibly fighting
Against
Kachan's ability. You know,
Right.
I don't
Right.
think so.
Which would
I
make
just
sense
I
so
just
either.
don't think so at all. I don't think that Shigaraki, well, really one for all, because it's not Shigaraki operating the body really anymore at that stage.
Yeah.
In this
It was
chapter.
at that time. It was at that time in the chapter at page 5. The transfer
No, at that time.
happens.
But I'm talking about once the quirk, the forcible quirk inducing fucking prongs come out of fucking Shigaraki. It's
Yeah.
no longer Shigaraki.
Yeah,
It's one
page
for all
page
controlling
13.
him at that
Page
point.
13 is where the shift happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I was saying. Like we'd be kind of jumping to the end of the chapter to talk about
Yeah.
this.
Well,
But
let's go
think
through
that-
let's go through normal, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Then I can table that till we get to the end and tell you what I
Yeah,
think about
yeah.
that.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, so then
Yeah,
we're
so
talking
go
about
ahead.
this Bakugo flashback here as he's rushing in and thinking about the words that All Might has said to him, and he thinks back to obviously the things he did to Deku as a child.
Mhm.
I mean they're still children, so less than a year ago.
Yeah, like years, like within a few years, yeah.
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 And just this just the emotion in his face was so powerful for me. Like as you can tell he's like, I gotta save this man, because it's one of those situations where like a gone you are light kind of situation where
Yeah.
he's
Mhm.
like, even though this could be a cursed power, it's also like a beacon of hope for people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Deku
Yep.
Definitely.
embodies that power and like personifies that power better than anybody else.
That
So,
page
like,
10. That
I
page
have
10.
to do
Woo.
whatever I fucking possibly can to keep this man alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And he can see probably, obviously he knows he's All Might's successor, but he can see All Might within Deku. Like he's clearly has number one hero,
Aura.
potential aura capabilities, whatever. Like Bakugo clearly sees that Deku is the future and is putting Deku ahead of himself finally. Obviously this has all been, this whole redemption thing, which I was saying, in the last chapter, I was like, okay, that's great. Like, I'm really happy to get this. It's some redemption. We need a lot more. We got all.
We got all of it.
Yeah.
We got the whole shit. There's
That's all you
fucking
needed.
Horikoshi smacked you over the head with redemption today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all here. So yeah, definitely good stuff there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just
But
like Nick was about to bring up, just that juxtaposition between the two panels of Deku where it flashes back to him, you know, I think that's the first training fight they had, right? Where it was like the missile exercise and they were fight. That was like their first serious fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then it's
Only time Deku wears his mask ever.
Yeah.
It's juxtaposed with this panel where he's just like looking like an absolute demon, just full of
bleeding,
grind
just
fucking
going 100%
determination.
easy.
Beyond that.
And he's just
beyond 100%.
Even another
Plus
juxtaposition
Ultra.
inside of like the very final like page of the chapter with like the sacrifice like out of the way while he gets stabbed by the skewers. It's like obviously that is calling back to like chapter 2, right? When Baku goes inside of the slime monster and like looks at Deku like he's like, I could just tell that you needed help. My body moved on its own. So now we're getting that, parallel.
That is the perfect reason why on page 15 in the bottom panel where it's this series of images.
Yeah.
The bottom, the leftmost
very
one,
last one.
the last one that you'd see is that scene.
Mm-hmm.
The slime,
scene. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's the emotion and the despair finally creeping into Bakugo's eyes. Like that was a powerful panel right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
That's his psyche like breaking in a way where he's like, oh shit,
I can't put on this front no more. Someone please save me. Like I'm begging you. Yeah.
Right.
And I couldn't help but think about Naruto, obviously, because these are the exact words Sasuke used when Sasuke did it for Naruto.
Yeah, that's right.
When they were fighting
in the land
Haku.
of the waves, right?
In Haku, when he's fighting Haku. So it's like Horikoshi is like, it's just like a double pronged thing here. I feel like I'm going to pay homage, but I'm also going to reintroduce or rehash this thing that already happened in my story, right from whatever first couple of chapters. Yeah, exactly. So it's like definitely that's like a.
And this is a constant theme inside of My Hero Academia. I feel like we've seen a lot of heroes with this example
sacrifice
of just like moving
other,
before their body could like their body just moving without their mind telling it to. It's like this is like the pinnacle of heroism. Like if you have this defining trait of sacrificing yourself for others without thinking about it, or going to go help someone and your body moving without your mind telling it what to do, it's like that is peak heroism defined in this series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the reason that All Might picks Deku.
Yeah, it's a constant theme.
Definitely.
Yeah.
These tendrils, they can steal quirks, can't they? Like he could just take Bakugo's quirk straight up right now.
I think that's what we were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like they can steal quirks and they can also just induce your quirk whether you choose to or not. Like you can just take your body. You can't control your body like a marionette. Force activate your quirk. You can't. So I just think this obviously it was unintentional, and that Shigaraki knows, or All For One knows, that he cannot steal One For All. Like this has been established that he cannot steal One For All. So that's not the purpose of the attack. The purpose of the attack, I believe, is to just induce a part of All For One that Deku doesn't know exists, that will be, which will allow One For All to talk to his little brother, and bring out this first vestige of and since he missed, since Bakugo is jumping in the way and taking it, it's just going to induce your quirk at the highest level, right? And so he's just going to explode and blow the fuck everybody up in all directions, I believe.
You think Bakugo's gonna die here?
No, I think because Bakugo himself doesn't blow up like fucking Vegeta, right? Like this isn't a final atonement because it's not like an inside out. It's his sweat glands. So it's like a giant explosion outward of his body in all directions, which could break his bones. It could really fuck his whole body up. And I think it's gonna break his bones. I don't think he's gonna have his quirk stolen. I don't think he's getting taken out of the story. I do think he's gonna suffer a big loss where these stakes fucking last for the entirety of the story. Yeah. But he's definitely. I mean, he's the second protagonist. Like he's not out of this. There's just no way in hell he's out of the story. So
I mean, but this is a great culmination in his character arc. You know what I mean? Atoning to Deku, and like you could say that the Force quirk activation was meant to be used on Deku. What if part of the quirk is he can pass on his quirk? Right? It's a intent of his ability, right?
Yeah.
I can intentfully pass on one for all to a successor. What if he was doing this to, okay, pass it on to me? Pass it on to the, all for one, right? And I agree. It's like not, but I feel like Bakugo could die or could get his quirk stolen here. I think it would fit perfectly within letting Bakugo have his story, and also it could let Deku have the consequences. I've been talking this whole arc. He needs consequences. He's been a dumbass this whole time. He needs consequences. This would be great consequences.
I think that's too big, bro. That's too big. That's consequences. You got major, bro. Already, you got Aizawa on the verge of death. You got Gran Torino on the verge of death.
Gran Torino is hurt. He'll be in the hospital. Oh no!
I'm talking. Torino's dead as fuck.
He's alive. He's alive right now.
No. I know. But Night Eye survived the arc and then died in a hospital later.
Sure. Yes. Yeah, obviously,
that's what I'm saying.
The consequences could come from elsewhere, but I was not expecting this scene, and this scene is a much better consequence for Deku.
Yeah.
I just so extreme. Just
think though, if him stealing quirks via this way from if he intended to steal Deku's quirk, that means he's had this ability to do this for so long and never did it, which is just so improbable in the story right now, because he would have been stolen the quirk 100 years ago, and so I think that he really did intend to make one for all kind of go berserk or whatever, and thus brings out that whatever. So him, because he says little brother, he's trying. Obviously, we know that can be figurative. It doesn't have to actually be literal. But I think in this case it was literal, and he was really trying to talk to it, bring his little brother out of Deku to whatever, have this conversation.
Yeah.
My only hang up is wanting to have a conversation with him. I don't think that his aim is having a conversation with his little brother. I think his aim is to take
one
back.
For all from this is what All for One's character pretty much since it was introduced has been the goal to take one for all back from All Might or back from Midoriya, you know what I'm saying, or whoever's got it, you know what I mean? And obviously these tendrils can take your quirk. So that's been what Shigaraki's been talking about this whole time, basically, is I want to get my hands on Deku because he's got that quirk. And everyone who knows that he has that quirk has been we need to keep Deku away from Shigaraki because Shigaraki wants to take his quirk. So if he throws the tendrils out that takes your quirk and he's aiming him at Deku, then
so
we have so much evidence.
Stated though. Yes. Yeah. What's that? Sorry?
They can take the quirk, these tendrils?
Yeah.
Okay, then his quirk is gone. Get used to it. Bakugo's quirk is gone now.
No, because other people have been hit by these, like Kurogiri, and he doesn't take Kurogiri's quirk. He makes Kurogiri put up the fucking warps.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a dual purpose thing here.
Yeah. But we have more evidence to support that if he used this attack on Deku, that he's trying to take the quirk and not forcibly activate it.
Right.
So here's another thing about this. You see in the flashback, or it's not really a flashback. It's where Deku is in Zangetsu world, basically, with One for All, and you get to see All for One, and he is using this ability, but he's turned it into hands when he's trying to take an ability.
That's right.
So it doesn't look like these, and you've only seen these tendrils this way on forced activation of a quirk thus far.
Right.
So I really don't think, because it's just if this ability had the ability to steal fucking One for All this whole time, One for All would have been stolen fucking a million times over by now. It just and All Might states, it's been stated that you have to give the quirk. It has to be willfully given. It cannot be stolen.
To All for One.
To All for One, yes. All for One has to be
to anybody.
To anybody. Yeah.
To anybody.
No one can steal
All for One. For All for One.
All for One cannot steal it. One for
no
all.
one
or
can
even
steal
if somebody
one
were
for
to
all.
accidentally consume a strand of your hair, if you're not
exactly
if you're not willing to give
saying
it,
I want to pass this quirk on to you, it
won't do anything. Yep.
It won't do anything.
Unless Shigaraki takes one of his people hostage and says, "Give me the quirk or I'll kill them." That could be a situation that we could see.
That'd be very interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Which now he has that leverage.
Yeah.
It's so hard to say because he's a Wolverine skeleton right now, right? He's been melted down to fucking adamantium at this point.
Yeah, he's literally like a puddle.
Exactly. And it's not even him. And that's the other thing too. Shigaraki's dialogue doesn't mean anything about earlier because Shigaraki is not in control right now. It's his, obviously Shigaraki wants to, I need to find a quirk to beat this, which I took it as in his mind, okay, I have this extensive library of quirks in my brain right now. I'm searching my Rolodex of quirks right now to do something about it.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what it totally is. Yeah.
Sure.
That's what, that I'm actually looking for a new quirk to steal to beat Deku.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Could be either, but I definitely like. Yeah, I think you're totally right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
Fucking Endeavor comes up and grabs his ass for the prominence burn, bro. I was like,
I love the fucking full Nelson with the legs wrapped around, like, and that was so tight. Like, I really thought Endeavor was gonna die, and the whole time I'm sitting here like, okay, is this Final Atonement? Is this Vegeta? Is this happening?
Prominence
Are we about to get some big? Are we gonna get like this much redemption in one chapter for two fucking shitbag characters at the same time? I was like, that would be so wild. And then it just made so much. And then all I see, it's like a fucking a memory that did not exist before. Not really, but Dabi. All I keep seeing is Dabi. It's like no. Endeavor can't go yet. We got Dabi shit to handle.
Yeah, we got Dabi stuff.
Yeah.
And he didn't
I
die.
really
Like what?
See, but this was one of those chapters where it was like you're looking at characters you believe to be safe for so long, and then you're like, was I wrong? Are they not safe?
Are they not safe? Not as safe as we thought, at least, because Bakugo, I never thought in a million years would get skewered like this, bro. Like, look at where he's getting stabbed through, like, look, like in the solar plexus, like through the back, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like straight through the very
shoulder and through the gut.
Yeah,
it looks like.
But the gut includes the back.
Shoulder and the gut.
Yeah,
it's going straight through the vertebral column,
straight through the spine,
or whatever. Yeah,
could be permanently.
I feel like it's a little off-centered. I feel like it's off.
Yeah. It's a little bit farther closer to the right from our perspective.
It's
you better
hope kidneys or pancreas or something.
That's the liver right there, baby. That's the same shot Yuji got.
Yeah.
Oh,
and earlier, Bakugo like organizing the team. You know what I mean? Like he was taking charge. Like that. You do this, you do that. You're gonna keep him cold. You're gonna come with me. You don't do anything until I tell you.
Yes.
Like
leadership qualities. Captain America vibes.
Rocklock was shook.
Rocklock.
Dude, it felt a lot like Shoot and Gon inside of like Hunter x Hunter. You know what I'm saying? Where Rocklock is Shoot and fucking Bakugo is like Gon, like taking charge. He's like, bro, you're just a kid, but you know exactly what you're talking about. And here I am, an adult, a pro for you know, by all means, like completely being told what to do and like not having the same kind of like combat, you know, like awareness and just like ability to think clear in times of like high stress. But here's this kid doing everything that I should be doing right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's very
it feels so good.
That.
It's kind of one of those things I'm still 70-30 about. It's like 70% of the way I'm like, this is really great, but at 30% it's just like I always have this, and I don't want to go into it super because we've done it a million times, but like just like power scaling in a hero story where it's just like you got Rocklock here and it's just like, man, these guys should just be able to do. There shouldn't be a manual on the fucking field, and I get why he's there. You know, it's just so always tough for me. It's just like Rocklock, man. I feel
like Manuel could do more, but that's just the best thing he should do given the circumstances.
Sure, no. I get it. I get all that and everything, and it's fine. It's good enough, right? Like it's well, like I say, like I think Hero's like an 8 out of 10, right? Like it's great enough to read. I don't know. Sometimes it's a 9. Like this chapter is a 10 out of 10, right? Like it's there's so many times where
peaks
like,
are peaking.
Definitely, exactly. And honestly, if I could tell what was happening in every panel, it'd be at least a 9 for me. It's just like sometimes that's the thing that holds me back. But things, just always trying to wrap my head around power scaling in a story with heroes where there's always these lesser heroes, and now you got a fucking 13, 14-year-old kid who's like about to be the strongest in the story already, and it's only his first year in high school or whatever. It's just, it seems quick to me for this to happen, even though it's taken 300 chapters to happen. But like in their world, it seems quick, you know. But it also makes sense too, because they've been thrown into dangerous situation after dangerous situation that the first year would never ever be in. Exactly. So like, it's not like it doesn't make sense. It's just you know, sometimes you're just looking at a Rocklock, you're like, man, I bet
how'd you even get here?
Well, and it's just like I bet your quirk is way tighter than you're even utilizing. I feel like you're just soft and weak. Like
maybe he just doesn't want the spot. Yeah, maybe he just like wants to chill and get the check.
Man, Rocklock, man. you can't have a tight name like that with a tight quirk. Like you got Hina quirk, you know, Hina's fucking devil fruit. Like basically, like I feel like that shit could have been, you know, much big. And maybe no, it's not going to be. This is the point of it, is that
we'll see.
That there's these heroes now. Well, I mean, and that's kind of the story, right? Is the heroes are complacent even because their world has been so safe, and that All Might has this umbrella of safety that he's cast upon
the stain.
I don't gotta do too much because if a situation shows up to that I can't deal with, then like another person with a better quirk can pull up and deal with it. And if it's really drastic, All Might's just gonna pull up. So like
Well, and it's the whole stain situation too, right? Where it's like the hero society is corrupted, and it's looked at as like not only just an occupation at this point, but a way to get money. So people, regardless of how good or bad their quirk is, they're going to aspire to be a hero just because it's an easy way to make a living just by using your quirk and fucking pulling somebody out of a burning building.
That's a great
it's like
point.
People, it's like people who jump at the opportunity to go to school for being a lawyer or a doctor or a surgeon. You know what I'm saying? They're like, this is what pays the most. This is what has the best quality of life. According to people who have had the
get
profession,
endorsement
like the
deals
data.
and shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You
just want to.
But you don't actually care about like saving people. You're being an open heart surgeon because you make $500,000 a year, but you're just like, you show up today and you just don't care. Like it makes a lot of sense because you know what? It doesn't matter what your system is. Once you inject capitalism in it, money's the only thing that's going to matter. That's just how it's going to be. Like that's like Eagle. Like I love that point because it's just like you're right. It's like I'm going to make money being a hero, but I'm only going to be like dealing with like green blobs on the street that can't really hurt me or whatever. I'm not going to be dealing with fucking hooded Nomu. Let me get up out of here.
Hey, where's Endeavor at? It's a hooded Nomu over here. Like someone call Endeavor, bro. Like I'm manual, bro.
Sick day.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm applying saline to this fucking like, you know what I'm saying? Elderly lady whose glasses dropped on the or fucking lost the contact, bro. Like where's Endeavor?
Saline.
So one more thing I want to mention about this All for One fight is that Endeavor is also pierced by the
Yes, he is.
Quirk force activation.
Coming out of his back.
A few minutes ago, I was like, damn, he got skewered as well. Fuck.
So maybe like obviously, like you know what I'm saying, like so like if he gets skewered by the tendrils, it's like, well, what's gonna happen to Endeavor? Is his quirk gonna get forcibly activated? Is he going to get his quirk stolen because he's been skewered by them? But no, it's just like these can either harm you physically and that's it, or they can harm you and then force activate your quirk, or they can harm you and take your quirk if you're willing.
And I think it's,
we know for
three different quirks in one, right? Like I feel like the tendrils are its own quirk, but once they stab you, All for
another
One
quirk
can
does
choose
something else.
can choose to steal your quirk with his original All for One. His main quirk can steal it from you, or there's even a third quirk that is a quirk force activation inducing.
And I think I don't know if he's
that makes
right
sense, definitely.
in necessarily the right state of mind to like put that into action at this point, or if he's in kind of like a more so berserker like possessed. And we know for a fact Endeavor still does have his quirk after he gets run through by the tendrils because his shoulders and shit are still on fire. That's all his quirk.
Very good point. That's a huge point. That's a very good point.
Definitely. But hey, do we want to talk about All for One in the driver's seat again? This is very important. Like it's
as you've been saying, you were settled for a while that Shigaraki is not going to be the driver forever.
Over. He said, "Tomura,
no, it's not going to be.
I could fold these motherfuckers for you." I saw someone said that on the TL or whatever. I was fucking crying.
But like, it's like.
I mean, Shigaraki is a Joker where like All for One is a Lex Luthor, right? Like you have it's just, to me, Shigaraki is great at getting the crazies on his side, but how, like once you need to get politicians on your side, once you need to start getting like the real fucking power players by force is a different thing. Like if you just
if you just show up and flex everybody and be like, all right, now this is how it's gonna go. It's like that's one
different.
thing. But are you gonna sit down at the board meeting in a suit with these motherfuckers and have a conversation? You need an All for One around, or All for One around for that. I'm surprised I've done this well. I feel like I've been pretty on. You've been really good this time,
and I'm terrible at it.
It's hard.
But well, and this chapter made me really think about it for a good hour almost. So I was just like, I'm gonna wrap my head around this as best I can, because I really do feel like All for One wants to talk to his little brother. Just let me talk to my little brother, man.
It's a good idea. I'm excited to see how that comes of it. I feel like that's a scene that's very possible inside of a situation like this. I feel like it's very likely that we could see something like that. So I'd be here for it regardless. I feel like that'd be an incredible scene. If it does
I
happen,
feel like,
that would answer a lot of questions that we've had.
It can. Yeah, it depends what that scene's like. Exactly.
He might just be like a Kaguya kind of situation where he's like, all y'all motherfuckers came from me. Like, all y'all's quirks, that's me. Like how she was like, y'all might not, obviously I know you guys don't really necessarily like the last part of Shippuden, but she comes down, she's like, all y'all's chakra, that's me.
Yeah, that's
this whole system's from me
type shit.
Yeah.
So, this could be the same kind of lines he's along where he's like, quirks have stemmed from me.
Yeah.
So all y'all motherfuckers are running me my shit back.
That would be
turn them pockets out.
Yeah. It would be crazy like if there
because it said, you remember what it said at the beginning of the hero about the golden the glowing child of light or whatever? I always assumed that was all for one.
In China? Yeah.
That he was the first quirked person ever born.
Yeah.
And he had all for one.
That happened in China though. Remember that? That's what they said.
He could be Chinese.
I did not remember
He's
it
been
happened in China.
It was in China.
Shit.
Yeah, it was
China.
It was a Chinese. Yeah, it was in China. That doesn't mean he's a Chinese baby. I mean, you never know. Like,
I mean, that makes sense. No,
but I mean, like,
that makes a lot of sense.
If we find out, like, all for one's like real original name was like, a Chinese ass name or whatever, then like that would be fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they didn't like, if we just got his like original, if we got his real name and it was a Chinese name, but then there was no link in that chapter to the fucking original scene about the glowing baby in China, and like we're just supposed to put that together, that'd be fucking crazy as shit. But I don't know, man. I definitely thought about that though. Like at the same time, like I legitimately was like, what if this glowing baby was all for one, and he is the original person with a quirk in this world? But then I was like, but he's Chinese.
Well, but you can't because if you think about it, that's a fitting quirk to be the first quirk, a quirk that can take other quirks. Like it wouldn't be some random.
Yeah, no,
it wouldn't just be no, because it wouldn't just be some random fucko like manual quirk.
Yeah,
and then
you're right about
20
that.
quirks down the line, all of a sudden it's all for one. Like that's.
But all for one is a reversal of what you're saying. Like all for one takes quirks, he doesn't give them out, and I mean, I guess he
created.
He starts. All of a sudden, there's this first person born with the quirk to take quirks, and now all of a sudden more and more people start being born with quirk from the universe, from energy, from fucking whatever.
Right. So like it's like you don't have there doesn't have to be quirks there already for you to like there doesn't have to be quirks there already in order for you to be born with a quirk that takes quirks. That could still just be your quirk, and if no one else is born with a quirk, then you just don't do anything with your quirk. But
so
other people are
it's
going
like, what
to
is
be
the
born
root of mutanism in X-Men? Is there?
Yeah, you don't want me to do that. You don't want me to do that.
I don't want that.
I'm certain that in all instances, it can just be a natural happenstance.
Yeah.
Like it's literally evolution.
The only thing I'll say here is that if that is true, then all for one's quirk is stealing quirks and glowing. And it probably isn't. And it makes a lot more sense to me in terms of evolution and, genetic diversity creating quirks that the first quirk was just glowing.
Just
period.
Glowing. Yes.
And then later it was glowing and it was a little hot. And then later it was, glowing and hot and, and then
it's fire.
Time. And it's fire. And then way later, then it's I take a quirk, generations away or different, totally different. But that's all I'm going to say. Yeah. We could talk about this, I think, for
that makes all the sense in the world.
That makes all the sense in the world. I love that.
That's called evolution, people.
That is called evolution.
Read a book.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
My man's Darwin's got something to say about that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great chapter.
Alrighty then. I think with that, we can go ahead and slide into home base here. You know what I'm saying? Hit you with the piece de resistance, as always. Chapter 991 of One Piece. Let us die.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I think we say this every fucking week, but get us out of this goddamn cover page.
It's gonna last till 1,000.
It's gonna last till 1,000, bro.
Please
now we're gonna get Thanksgiving. We're gonna get Christmas. We're gonna get all the holidays at home with Pound.
I feel like it has culminated now. We're done.
Yeah, I would like to think this is the last one. Yeah, I would like to think
this has to be done.
Volume 35.
This is the culmination. His first hug as a father.
Yes.
Cool. Done.
No,
Get us
It's
out.
about to pull out the tray pound and blast the kids right now. Blah, blah.
What will
Trying
go
to get rid of
longer,
me.
the Shibuya incident or this cover story?
Wow.
Yo, that's a great
crazy.
question.
What the fuck? Because Shibuya incident is actually on like part
40,
30.
41,
Wait, what? We're in the 40s of that?
aren't we?
I thought we were
are
at 35.
41 was today.
That's crazy.
41
Yeah, 41,
chapters
yeah,
of
I'm
looking
Shibuya
at it
incident.
now.
That's
Literally been
wild.
going for only 6 less weeks than Shibuya. Well,
Like,
actually,
Shibuya is almost an entire year of weeks.
Yeah. That is true.
yeah, been almost a year-long arc. That's crazy.
Wow.
All right.
Anyway,
But
getting
yeah,
into
getting
One
into
Piece.
the chapter, you know.
Yes.
So Drake is outed. Everyone is aware that
everybody
Drake is a
sees.
traitor.
Yes.
I love Zoro's awareness to the
Yes.
situation.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I knew y'all were going to
because he's like, I mean, you have to because like
have
it's right
to.
away, and
Yeah.
it's
It is good
and
shit.
that he. And he advises Luffy, like, no, this isn't a good idea. It doesn't matter if they fucking turned on him. Fuck his position because,
Well,
like,
and it
he's
goes
just
right
a
along-
turncoat.
Yeah, look
basically.
at how
Like,
quick
so-
he is to switch sides when it
it
gets
goes
hot.
right along
you know
with what we
I'm
were
saying?
saying in the Straw Hat episode, you know.
Yeah,
Yep.
One shot
one-shots,
about
yeah.
how Zoro is basically the rock of the crew, and he
Yep.
is
Yeah.
the
We talked about his skepticism and
the
shit,
hard
too.
ass
Yeah.
captain
Yeah.
in some
Yep.
ways, where
Yeah.
he'll fucking step in front of Luffy and say like, "Yo,
We
you're
ain't
wildin',
doing this.
bro."
Yeah, this
Chill
is not
out,
on
like-
our ship. This is the wrong ship for
But
that.
then at the same time, you know what I'm saying, Luffy is Luffy, and he's like,
Yeah.
whatever, you can join us. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
it's like,
Well,
fuck
I
it.
think
Trust
that's
him.
significant
And they're-
because, well, I think it's really
Such a
significant
fucking-
because Jinbei was involved here, right?
Yep. And Frankie.
this is- and Frankie, of course, too, and obviously, like, you know,
Well,
Frankie
just-
matters too, but like Jinbei is the most important to me because this is his first experience of how Luffy captains a crew, and
Yep.
and it's really important that Jinbei gets christened on this. We're not going to use logic here. We are going
Yeah.
to use Luffy's intuition, which is even stronger than Jinbei's
Experience.
Yeah.
Exactly. Jinbei's experience exceeds everybody else's everything other than Luffy's intuition. It's the only thing that's
Exactly.
higher than Jinbei's experience, right?
Yeah.
On this
And
crew.
that's
It's
that's why
very
we got to give
important.
it up to Jinbei, you know, to
Mhm.
where like now he's the rock of the crew. Now
Yeah.
he's the dad.
One of the rocks,
As you
yeah.
guys
One of
call
the
him.
Well,
rocks,
these
yeah.
three,
He's a
these,
pillar.
I
He's
feel
going
like,
through this
I feel like
chapter,
all
like,
three of them
literally
now are.
explaining shit to people on multiple
yeah.
panels. He's like telling
Yep.
people what's good. You know what I'm saying? Frankie's like, oh shit, I'm not gonna have enough cola for this shit. And he's like, man, y'all got to be prepared. Like anything can be a menace if they got enough numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that goes along with what Kiko
He-
was saying.
he
about,
has-
like, he's got all the experience in the world, man.
Yeah.
Right. He has more experience than most of the characters in the crew have been alive. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he's been a
He's like
captain
40,
of a private.
right?
Yeah, he's got to be 40 at least. I would say. I don't know if
But
we know
we
his
can
age.
look that up.
Yeah, look up his
I'm gonna
age.
look it
Yeah,
up right now.
Yeah, we don't need another one of those Nanami is 40 moments, even though we didn't
44.
fucking say that. But
Nice.
we didn't say that. I mean, I think I said that.
No,
I
I was like, I could see.
40-year-old.
I was like, he looks 40. Like I could see him being 40, and you were like,
Yeah.
I can see
Everyone
that
was
too.
very sure he was old.
Yeah, that was the conversation. No, hell no, bro. We knew that he was in school with Gojo, bro. We were literally just
Yeah,
saying
we
the
did, we
motherfucker
did.
looks
I didn't know
old
that.
because he's stressed the fuck out, and that's just like the way his
Yeah,
face
I mean,
looks.
that's what happens. That's what
Yeah,
happened to
he's
me.
a
I'm
salary
40,
man,
I'll
bro.
just
Like
look 40.
Yeah, like it's like you age faster in a cubicle than anywhere else.
And we
Yeah.
get this
Anyway.
we get this cool little flashback, you know, panels of again Drake talking to Kobe about
Yeah.
Luffy and what
Yeah,
type
yeah.
of man he is and
Super
shit.
good shit.
I just love Kobe, man, and I just
Yeah.
Me too, dude.
dog, I think people are so sleep on Kobe.
I just
And
love how he's so
everybody-
relevant.
Let me
now.
just say, all y'all motherfuckers that are talking about Smoker, just shut the fuck up because Smoker is trash.
no.
Kobe is the true
Smoker is super cool.
final
Smoker is
Marine
not
and
Smoker's
trash. Smoker's
and
great.
rival of Luffy. Smoker's
I don't
fine,
care about
but
that.
he's
Maybe you're right
fucking
about
garbage,
that,
bro. He didn't
Yeah,
learn
you're
fucking
right
arm and
about
hockey
that,
until he
sure.
was 30, and that's only because he got fucking beat by a fucking 19-year-old kid. And he like literally is like considers him like he looks up to him. He fucking follows after Luffy like a little
Puppy dog?
sheepdog.
Yeah.
So it's like
Do we
I don't-
know?
I do not.
Do we know that Smoker
Kobe
didn't know
is being
armament
trained
hockey?
by the person, as far as we know, is the fucking greatest Marine of all time.
Yeah,
He's gonna be fucking
definitely.
dope.
well,
Better than
Oh,
Smoker.
just to,
Kobe's
just
dope
to,
as fuck.
So
yeah,
time
just
out,
to,
time
just
out,
to
before we go
address
into the other
Kiko's
thing.
like thing that he said. Do we
Well,
know
no,
that
before
Smoker?
we even do,
Oh,
I was just say even before we do that, I would
Yeah.
just say all that is fine, and I don't think anybody here is debating
No.
Evil's point. We all
he was
agree
talking
that-
to the
that
audience.
Kobe. Yeah, no, I know that. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure that everybody's clear. It's like we are all in the same boat. That Kobe is the Marine rival of Luffy.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
it's been set up.
He's the
since
Garp.
first
He's the
fucking-
Garp.
He is
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Yes.
He's trained by Garp. He's the Garp.
Roger.
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely.
But that doesn't mean Smoker's not tight as fuck. Smoker has arguably
Smoker's the guy, bro.
the Smoker has one of the tightest moments ever in fucking One Piece. I promise. Is after fucking Alabasta when fucking Tashi's crying in the bottom of the ship, and he's talking to all his men like, "Hey, this is what type of resolve you really need to be if you're really about this life." And then fucking they tried to give him the fake fucking and he still had to take it because he did get promoted to Commodore.
Yeah.
But he's like, "No, fuck them guys. No." And
I don't
that-
want. I didn't do this. I don't want this. Like this praise.
Smoker is tight as fuck.
Yeah,
man.
he's
Smoker is one
he's
of
a
my
very
favorites.
honest. He's a very
But
honest
he's
character.
not Luffy's rival.
Yeah,
No,
He was a
right.
good
No.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
yes.
don't-
Okay. Just making sure we were clear on. All
You
of
came
that.
out
Yeah.
real strong with that Smoker
Bro,
trash,
Smoker's
bro. I
tight
was
as
like,
fuck,
bro, what
bro.
the fuck?
Hey, if you're walking
about
around
his
smoking
fires.
2 cigars, you're tight as fuck. I don't give a fuck. Two of them.
So as we go deeper in the chapter, one point I wanted to bring up. This is after Zoro, Frankie, Jinbei have all said no, like Drake shouldn't join the crew. At the bottom of that page, this is page 4 or whatever. Page 1. He realizes, based on all these character interactions, that Luffy is the boss of everyone here.
Yeah.
Everyone is under Luffy. Luffy is the head of this war party or whatever, which I think is pretty cool that it's so obvious, and it's cool that like we're gonna get all these interactions of like all these enemies going after Luffy because he is the head.
Right.
Do you want to know what it really was? It's
Man.
the captain's coat.
Yeah,
I was
Captain's
just
coat,
gonna
yeah.
say, bro, like this
coat looks pretty
is
fly.
just continuing to look just so goddamn good, bro, and I'm so happy about it because man, I've
Well,
been waiting so long for Luffy to get
it's
a
like a-
fucking coat.
Yeah, and just
Well,
look at
because
the
it's
situation.
all the way back to the first. It's like the first volume cover. I want to say it was or
Yeah.
whatever, where
He's
Luffy
wearing a
has the
coat.
full ass coat and he's
Yeah.
like pulling it off like this or whatever.
yeah,
We've been fiending for it literally since the fucking first fucking 9 chapters, and finally
Yeah.
we get it.
And now
990 fucking 1 chapters. We or what,
Yeah.
it's been a little bit
Jacket
before
Luffy,
this,
Yonko
but
And
level.
look at
and
Jacket
yeah,
Luffy right here on that exact same page on page 4. He's just like standing there, hand on his hip, hand on the top of his hat, with the fucking like squadron, like in the background. You know what I'm saying? And people are looking at him like that dude is
Sure,
a guy.
he can be on our side.
Yeah, like
Yep.
that dude. Like page 1 is like that is the captain. That is the boss of all of these pirates. Literally verbatim what he says, and it's just like, man, it's like when you see moments like these, you think back. Like at least for me, I can't help but think back to the entire series of his come up from the start of the series until now, and it's like he is so deserving of this acknowledgement from page 1.
Yep.
He is so like
especially because he already fought page 1 in Ulti and he wasn't super serious against them, even though he's probably trying to conserve his strength or whatnot, but then he did go into gear 4 for that little bit, and it's like he fighting page 1, like at the time page 1 could probably be like, this is just regular whatever guy, but to actually see this and deduce that from, because I mean, it's a few words. It's not really that much. I do think that says a lot about page 1 because given the fact that they already, fought him and he didn't do something Kaido. He didn't turn into a giant fucking monster and blow the whole fucking island up.
Right.
Like his boss does, what his captain of his crew. So like, it's. I think it's very important that Luffy exudes that while still being, Luffy, right? Like,
I think
it's amazing. Yeah.
I think it's a great testament, now that you guys are talking about that to Luffy's growth as a character, because, in the past it's been said like Luffy does not seem like the captain of the crew. It seems like it might be Zoro in some instances.
Yeah.
And then
But
Nami in
now
other instances.
You can really tell like he is exuding that captain like, aura where people are really looking to him, asking questions, making sure shit's okay. He's delegating a little bit more within this battle where, pre-time skip, he would probably just be running around fucking attacking everybody right now.
Well, he knew everybody else would be off doing their thing.
Where he's showing restraint that we have not seen before in a lot of times where, he's like, oh, I'm going to take this fucking guy out. Yeah. Sanji's like, yo, chill. And he's like, all right,
fine.
Keep it pushing,
Yep.
Where in the past, he definitely would have just been like, no words. He's on top.
Definitely.
Yep. 100%.
I mean, the one I think about in particular is Water 7 you know, obviously he fucking does a lot of crazy shit, runs on his own, does a lot of stuff, but like they were all sitting on a tree branch together on the second time through. Like they're gonna stop fucking CP9 from attacking Iceberg a second time. They're all sitting on a tree branch together, all of them talking about a fucking plan, and they literally turn for 1 second and he's gone.
Yeah.
You know, like that just doesn't happen like that anymore, right? Like and he can still run off and be gone, but like he's usually
He'll listen to the whole plan first.
He says, I'm doing this. He'll tell people, I'm going to do this, basically. Y'all do this, and this, and then y'all figure out whatever. I trust you guys to do what you guys do to figure out the rest of it. But, you know, he
at the beginning of this battle, he literally did bolt off the ship without saying a damn thing. And then, all right, formulated the plan around that fact that like Zoro, Kid, and Luffy were just going to book straight in and fucking attack everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
But
hashtag calculated.
Yeah.
But yes, he's had tremendous growth in this arc, and we got a lot of that this chapter for sure.
And we see we see Page 1 and Ulti are attacking the samurai here. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they're talking shit like you'll never get a chance to see Kaido against Straw Hat. Boom, special attack, Green Star Skull, exploding grass. You know what I'm saying?
Midorimushi.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And then she's like, Pepe, who did that? You know what I'm saying? And she's like, I'm Nami. You know what I'm saying? Obviously.
Fucking ventriloquism.
Yeah. Super funny,
Just
bro.
get the question.
That shit was the funniest.
Like, smacks the shit out of him.
Yeah. So, and even Nami too, and she's like, okay, fine, we're already fighting anyway, whatever, bring it on. And then they run, they bounce. She's like, your actions don't match your words. But they're both bouncing, which it's hilarious. But I mean, is this really going to be a fight? Usopp and Nami versus fucking Pepe and Ulti? I hope so too. Do you know how crazy that is for the character if they beat fucking Ulti and fucking Page 1?
Yes.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
They deserve to be on this pirate crew in battle. That's the thing. They deserve to be on this pirate crew for all these other reasons, which we talked a lot about in our fucking one shot we just did last Thursday. But or Wednesday. Wednesday. But this, if they're taking out Toby Roppo, that's a big deal. Man. That's massive. That is a big fucking deal. And they also, can do it together, working together, 2v2. It makes sense.
It makes sense 2v2. Yes, it does.
Not 1v1. If Usopp has to fight Page 1, he's getting eaten.
Yeah. Who knows?
Well, you know, if you look at it as they're part of the quote unquote weak trio of the crew.
Yeah.
It looks
Chopper's jumping in at some point.
Gives you good hopes for the rest of the crew's fights.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
They could potentially get even higher members of the crew than Toby Roppo. Like
Chopper never belonged into the fucking weakling trio. Like I always was so mad about that. Sure, he's scared and he's youngest, but it's like Chopper is clearly fucking way stronger. Like at least in a physical fight than those two. But that's what I'm saying. Like 2v2, it makes sense because I feel like if Nami has to fight Ulti by herself, or if Usopp has to fight Page 1 by himself, they would lose. I just think that those two being so tactful together,
Mirage tempo plus long range,
exactly,
it's a fucking great strategy.
Exactly, and they have so many fucking tricks and spells, whatever you want to call all their shit that they do. They have so many different things that are so unaccounted for in this pirate world. That those two together, like. It feels like this should have happened like 100 times by now, and it finally does in this arc. And you're like, "Duh!"
Why?
It's Oda greatness, right? Like it's Oda greatness. It's like this felt like something that should have happened by now. And it just, I feel like these two really bring the best out of each other, even if it's comedic most of the time. You know, and it's amazing. This was my single favorite part of this chapter, which. This is a beautiful chapter with a lot to talk about, and I just Usopp and Nami versus Ulti and Page 1. I'm just sitting.
What
here
a matchup! Beautiful.
Pounding on my table like,
let's go!
They've always related to one another. I mean, even going back to the moment, when Nami asks Usopp to make the climate act for her, when she's like, "Look, like I am weak like you. I have no way to fight. So like, help me out, my guy." You know.
He's like, I got you. Yeah.
So after this exchange with
and they were the first two to meet after the time skip. I'm sorry to cut you off, but isn't that they were the first two to come together after the time skip?
Yeah, I think
they're like in a bar together, and they like hugged,
and he walks in, and she's there, and then,
lots of Usopp Nami moments over the series for sure. But so after this moment, then we get to Luffy, Sanji, Scratchman, Apu. Luffy gets some future sight where he sees future hearing, and he hears it coming or whatever, he sees it coming, so he's cover your ears or whatever. I want to talk about on page 8, Scratch When Apu gets his name listed again with his bounty. One of these kind of like what do you call it? Like almost like a narration or whatever, but like just like this title, his
name
title
card.
A name card. Yes, thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. He is the informant of the Beast Pirates.
Yep.
Super interesting. Like I was not expecting that to be his job.
Yeah, we knew that.
We knew that, but we never got the name card for it.
It's not a job. Yeah. It's not really a job.
Well, it doesn't say navigator, it doesn't say cook, it says informant.
Because he's not actually in the crew that way. He was there to snitch on Law
He poses as if he still is just doing his own thing. Like he was there to make an alliance with Kid and
Kid. Sorry, Kid and
but he
Kid
was
and
actually
Killer.
setting them up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like he's like a double agent, right? Like
so he was Beast Pirates back then.
Yeah, I think
informant.
Yeah, I think informant is just his job inside of the Beast Pirates. That's what Nick is saying. Yeah.
But he's still a captain of the on-air pirates.
He's not saying that he's not a captain of an on-air pirate because he's an informant. He's just saying a part of Kaido's ranks. That's his role, is to tell on people.
I think it's happened one time, and
maybe there's information that he's providing in other areas too, but like informant is usually rat, snitch, you know what I'm saying? Like those are the synonyms. Sure,
definitely, yeah.
Do they have?
And it makes sense.
A fleet though, because I feel like this is the first name card we've gotten within the Beast Pirates that actually specified that they were the captain acting
of their own pirates.
Crew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's true. I'm pretty confident that's true.
So you call it a small fleet. I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
Not trying to focus on that word so much.
Yeah. No. But it is. I mean, Eagle. I think that is important in some way because it's like but like Drake was a captain of his own ship, but he is now part of Toby Ropo. Same with Hawkins was a captain of his own ship, but now he's part of the Toby Ropo. Like they actually are part of Kaido's crew.
Assimilated,
they've relinquished their title as a captain of another crew. So that I feel like that is at least somewhat important. Mm-hmm. I mean, it might not be, but it's definitely, I think,
could be a plot line that we explore later.
Exactly, enough to consider for sure.
Absolutely.
And he controls the numbers, Apu. He I don't know if this is like music's soothing the savage beast or something, but he's like literally guiding the numbers and apparently is confident enough that he can say like, I'm going to go get more of them to come over here or whatever. Yeah. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. So General Frankie's going to wash Hacha, right? Hacha? Like General Frankie's about to beat the brakes on Hacha.
Yeah,
but
I think so, yeah.
It makes, but like, so there's so many other numbers. If only 3 are taken out, there's at least 10 total, right? Like we have at least 10 total. So there's 3 that's been taken out and 1's chasing General Frankie. So there's, potentially 6 more out there. Like it would really just be tight. Now that we've, possibly see a 2v2 with Ulti and Page 1 and Usopp and Nami. If we saw Monster Point Chopper and Frankie just 2v6 the rest of the numbers.
Let's go.
I would really love to see a kaiju tag team battle here.
Love to see that.
That'd be pretty tight. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Because
that would be tight.
What's Chopper doing right now? I don't even remember. He was in he's still in the Brachio tank. Did they him and no? Because Usopp's not in the Brachio tank.
The Brachio tank is General Frankie.
Yeah, they had
is it part of? Yeah, they kicked him out. And he's got ejected out. So he's just kind of like chilling there somewhere in the battle that we haven't seen.
I mean, he just got done doing the combo with to roll Big Mom out of there, didn't he?
No, that was Jinbei.
He wasn't part of that.
That was Jinbei and Robin.
Jinbei and Robin alone.
Jinbei and Robin. Yeah.
Well,
so I don't know.
No idea where
Chopper's probably just chilling. Yeah, Chopper's. Yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't be crazy. It wouldn't be that crazy if General Frankie starts running out of here because of what Hyogoro said. Maybe it's Hyogoro's like, we got to get him out of here. I don't remember who says it. Whoever says it to him, like, you got to get him out of here because the rest of the samurai are about to get squashed if you don't basically run him out.
He is literally flipping through the crowd now. Kung Fu point, kicking motherfuckers in the head.
I would love to see a scene for that. Please give me that.
And that's and that's fine. But like, we're gonna need Monster Point at some time. There's no way Chopper's not going Monster Point.
Oh, we're getting
so.
Yeah, for sure.
Who else would he fight in Monster Point, right? Like,
Yeah,
it
Numbers
has to
is
be
good.
Numbers.
Numbers is good.
Well, and it's great to see in this chapter specifically. Well, so Numbers.
I think maybe he can go Monster Point and wash the Numbers real quick, but I want him to get a better fight.
Yeah, me too.
Sure. But like, you have to think like Monster Point is Chopper's peak.
Numbers seem trash.
Strength. Numbers do kind of seem trash, but
yeah, they do.
Yeah. Well,
but they're still obviously very strong.
Yeah,
they're a threat. They're
strong.
Huge. You know.
Well, it was reiterated.
Like,
you guys have trampled many cities. You know, whatever. You guys have all smashed cities, and you've never really suffered a loss.
That's like regular ass,
is what it feels. Yeah.
Fucking, what's his name from the damn village with the pinwheel on his hat? Like that.
Yeah, sure.
sure.
Motherfuckers like that.
Yeah, villages are weak. Villages aren't anything special.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But you never know who was at that
definitely.
village at the time. You know what I'm saying? You never know who was the opposing force in that situation that they completely ran through that would give them.
But you get to see
write home about. Yeah.
General Frankie is the size of a giant, roughly.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas you see that Hacha is actually
giant,
double
like a giant, not an ancient giant, but a giant.
Yeah. Not an ancient giant, an Elbaf giant. Yes, an Elbaf giant. General Frankie's about big. The size of an Elbaf giant.
He's really big.
He's really big, man.
Yes, he is really big. He's really, really big. He wasn't as big as Wadatsumi, but like it's hard to like pair him up against another big thing that happened, like another big. But he was standing on top of the sad like oil tanker, right? And he was like the size of the whole oil tanker when he was fighting Baby 5 in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that and being like, damn, this motherfucker big as hell.
Yeah, he's definitely, and that has to be shown here because these ancient giants are like descendants of Ors, right?
Yeah.
Or at least genetically modified Ors giants, whatever the fuck they are. But they're related to Ors, which Ors as a continent puller was 2 to 3 times bigger than a giant.
Right.
Which it would make sense because you see like Hacha chasing General Frankie.
You can see his size in relation
2 to 3 times, 2 to 3 times the size of General Frankie. So like that.
Yeah,
that
these
makes
little
a lot of
fodder
sense.
pirates in the bottom right of that same panel with Hacha chasing them. Like you can compare General Frankie just to these bodies here on the ground, and it's like they don't even come up to like his first joint. They don't even come up to his knees of General Frankie. That's about the size of Elbaf giants.
They basically come up to that ankle fucking gear on him. Yeah.
On page 10, look at that eagle. Look at the middle panel
the chart
of page
you're
10.
looking at. I probably seen the same chart that you're looking at of the size of giants and continent
I'm
pullers or
throwing
whatever.
this in a Discord right now.
Yeah,
in
that's
a
cool.
DM.
Okay, I mean I'm not gonna look at it right now. Or wait,
Yeah,
actually,
one thing to notice with the page 10 thing, right? Like the symbol on General Frankie when it's like the straw hat symbol in the middle, right?
Yeah.
That is a platform that flips down, and that is bigger. That is like a little bigger than Frankie, but like about the size of Frankie. Frankie is 7'10", and that means that General Frankie is at least like 50 feet high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like based on just how
extrapolation,
like very rough guess or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Now the giants in One Piece are pretty fucking big. Like
every giant in this picture except for Hachi and this fucking other one with the hunchback is like twice the height.
Okay.
Even these old motherfuckers.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they're twice the height of a regular giant, of an Elbaf giant.
No.
Right?
The Elbaf giants are twice the height of General Frankie.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, I believe
and that's fine,
I
but
think his
ancient
point
giants
though
are
was
like
that it makes
twice the height
sense that
of
Frankie would, with his big
ancient
body,
giants are
would
big as
fight
hell.
giants.
Well, and not only that,
I was
in
just
this
saying,
panel
like,
you can see
my
that
point originally
the
was, I
number
was like,
is
I don't know if
double.
he's as big as Elbaf giants. That was the only thing I was saying.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Whatever else you guys are
But
talking about,
ancient
I'm not
giants are
refuting.
double the size of Elbaf
They're bigger.
giants, right?
Yeah,
Ancient
Dory-
giants are like
Dory has a literal height. Dory is 74 feet high.
Okay.
okay.
That I think is not double General Frankie.
It is not. I don't
I
think
mean,
so.
it's like a half more than General Frankie, basically. I would say.
But the
I wonder if
point
General
before we
Frankie has a
derailed
height.
to this, though, that Kiko was making before we got here, is that
Yeah.
it makes sense for Monster Point Chopper, big as fuck, and General Frankie, big as fuck, to fight the numbers because they're all big as fuck.
And it would be great if the numbers were twice, 2 or 3 times bigger than Monster Point and fucking General Frankie, or at least General Frankie, because I feel like Monster Point is bigger than General Frankie, even though I think they stood close together on Fishman Island when they both, I don't remember exactly, but I still feel like Monster Point Chopper is bigger than General Frankie. But even still, if numbers are 2 to 3 times bigger than both of them, and they fight 2v6,
it's a big deal.
Even if it's a huge deal.
That's
like you can't. I was just saying, I don't want to diminish if that's their big fights in this arc is the numbers. I don't want to diminish it, but I you know, hey, if they got another big fight after that, if Frankie jumps out of General Frankie and has a big fight as regular
Frankie, that'd be huge.
You know,
and then Chopper goes out of Monster Point and then has a big fight as regular Chopper against another fucking Kaido member. Then it's like, okay,
General Frankie is 42 feet high.
All right.
13 meters high. Yeah, but
not half, but
little more than half. Little more than half.
Yeah. Okay.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. And then going into, can we talk about these Sulongs? Can we talk about this fucking Inuarashi and Nekomomoshi?
Before we get there, we do have the scene with Queen.
Oh yeah, with Queen.
Apu, Drake, and Zoro.
The Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Now that Gatling gun, Queen shoots the Gatling gun, and Drake is like, "Did you think that would kill me?"
Unless these bullets.
Now, what do you think the unless is? I'm thinking. No. I'm thinking it's poison, disease
bullets,
capsules that Queen is shooting. You know what I mean? And a bunch of people about to die.
Yeah.
Like all these fodder characters, right?
I definitely.
It definitely could be Kairoseki.
I definitely figured that it was either Kairoseki or it was the disease bullets, because obviously, why would you make?
I didn't think of the disease bullets, but that makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense that Queen would employ that.
Queen the Plague.
Yeah. Yep. So I can definitely see
Queen
that.
the Plague, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I just want to see Kairoseki bullets. I just really want to see Kairoseki bullets because it's like
Wano. It only makes sense. Like if they,
it only makes sense in Wano.
Drake would know that they were Kairoseki bullets. Like, didn't he get hit by some of them?
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, okay.
Like if they have,
it doesn't show him
so much access to it and so much mastery over craft,
and they invented it.
Literally using it for nails.
Yeah, there were Kairoseki, little tiny Kairoseki nails.
They gotta have fucking
They got bullets, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
Guaranteed.
I believe it. Yeah. So, but what I like about this pair up is that it kind of tells me Drake has said, I want to kick the shit out of Apu. Okay.
Yeah.
Drake versus Apu, Zoro versus Queen, Sanji versus King, because the flying.
Yeah.
Like I think this chapter is really setting up the pieces of what these battles more likely will be, given all these stuffs, you know what I mean?
Yes.
If Sanji fights King and Zoro fights Queen, Twitter is going crazy.
And
they
kind of already are.
Let Zoro stands live it down. They will never let Zoro stands live it down. JD's going crazy.
Yeah.
Any Sanji people are going crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like Eagle's going crazy.
No. I'm off Twitter.
I'm off Twitter for the week.
Too cancerous.
I just love being a part of the One Piece fandom that doesn't pick a side and that just enjoys the fucking series and can talk about anything about the series and does not care about power scaling. I feel incredible over here in this lane. I have no stress. I have no worries. I can just enjoy One Piece.
Agreed.
I'm like looking at the TL like, can we not like both characters? Like,
no, you can't. I think it's been established that you cannot on that app.
The thing that I don't understand also in terms of liking both characters, obviously you can like both characters, but like just because the plot falls into place such that Zoro happens to fight Queen, it doesn't mean he can't beat King, and vice versa. Just because Sanji's fighting King because he's flying in the air doesn't mean he can't also fight Queen and win if it came to it. If he really had to. Yeah. What does it matter?
Power scalers don't care about power scalers don't care about combat scaling. They only care about like strength feats. They only care about like you beat this guy, so that since you beat this guy,
no, I get it. I'm just saying like I'm not about it.
Yeah. No. None of us
really
are
like
team have fun.
Marco's with Perospero. Perospero wants to fuck with King. They literally could just swoop in and take that fight, and Sanji might not even get the fight with King.
Yeah.
That's very good point.
People don't care about matchups on the internet. You know what I'm saying? They only care about strength feats. You know what I mean? And it's like it's like there's
this isn't the story for that.
Yeah, it's not. It's not, dude.
Right.
And I just I don't know. Like I would still like it to just fall into regular place, but we should move on to at least Jack.
Yeah,
part of the
Jack.
chapter that kind of upset me because I wanted to see him getting his ass beat.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure,
And
sure.
we just skipped to the end where he's all broken horn, fucked up. Kaido's stepping in like, hey, you ain't finna kill my boy. I'm
Yeah.
like, huh? Huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't
I
get to
get
see
it.
this man getting no work.
I don't think that Jack is
like,
done
Toei.
right now. I
No,
don't
he's
think
done.
I don't
done.
think Jack is.
Toei.
I don't think Jack is entirely done here.
He's done.
And that's fine, you know, if you think that he is, because obviously it's showing him falling over. But I mean, like we've seen characters get beat up and fall over and then come back later in an arc all the time in One Piece.
Right. I guess from my
Nah, he's
perspective,
done.
we're on a
Kaido's telling him,
timetable.
go get
Yeah, we are on a
medical
timetable.
attention, like,
We can't spend
Go take
800
a
chapters with
nap.
all these battles.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that
He's
I'm
done.
Sure, I don't think he's done.
we
But,
could also
Kaido told him to go take a nap.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Go have
He's
some
like, yo,
juice.
We
Go
could
get, them, go
tuck
get some
yourself
medicine,
in.
get some snacks. You know, we
Yeah.
got some Cheez-Its in the pantry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get you an apple juice.
I think
Go
that
lay
is
down.
more evidence that he will be back later because we don't know how long this fight is going to take. We don't.
He's
know.
gonna bandage his tusk up and he's gonna be ready to fight.
I don't think
He
that he's
got the
necessarily
drink
going to
some
be
milk
back
and
to
heal
full
his tusk.
strength, but like I feel like he can
Yeah,
come
the
back
tusk
to a
will
level
grow
where
back.
he's a relevant presence on the battlefield again later. Yeah, absolutely.
all
I
right.
think he could.
Knox,
Well, let's
I just want to say, I don't disagree with Knox,
Yeah.
but I also don't disagree with you guys. I
Yeah.
think these are all possibilities. I do think Jack can come back and
Yeah.
do something.
I think he's
I
done
also
for now
believe
for a
it's still
significant amount of
possible-
time for sure.
Yeah, but it's also possible that we get a tiny flashback that's 5 panels of them beating the fuck out of him in one
Yeah.
page.
The
You
only
know, like
thing
for
I
some
wanna
reason,
see-
you
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah,
The only thing I want to see Jack come back and do is get his ass beat again.
yeah.
I know,
Of course.
exactly.
Yeah,
I know, I
absolutely.
get it because of what he
Get
did
his
to
other
them
tusk
on Zoe, and I agree. That's why I kind of maybe lean a little bit more to Knox's side in the sense that it just seems so abrupt for how fucked up he did their whole all of Zoe. Like he really fucked their whole shit up. Fucking cut their leg and arm off,
Yeah.
killed a bunch of them. Their whole fucking area was poisoned with fucking Queen's poison. Like,
Yeah,
they
he needs
really
a more
fucked Zoe
satisfying
up.
defeat than this. Yeah.
Yes,
I want to see
he
them
does.
like cutting his legs off.
Yeah.
Like,
oh no, folks.
like, dog.
We're definitely going to get a very epic conclusion to that plot line with that revenge against, you know, Neko Momoshi and Inuarashi versus Jack. There definitely needs to be dialogue exchanges there. Like, yo, you thought you could
feel
get
like
away with this. You
something-
did all of this to our
yeah.
people. Like, I feel like it'll come
Yeah.
later, you know, in an isolated situation away from chaos,
Agreed.
where they will be like, all right, Jack, like, this is like final retribution scene here. I feel like we will get that eventually later. This is still very early in this war. First of all, this is like chapter 5 of the war that's starting here. So it's like,
Yeah.
sure, you know what I'm saying? They just beat Jack standing over him in Sulong form. Like, that's fine for now, but like, that's not satisfying enough for anybody. You know what I mean?
And,
So
and you
it's
make
like,
a lot
It's
of great
satisfying for
points,
me.
Knox.
Sure.
No, that's the thing. Knox makes a lot of great points, and that's kind of why
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
on his
yeah.
side a little bit. But no,
Yeah.
Nick, I just want to say, like, you could easily be fully correct that the timetable dictates more
Yeah.
than anything right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
These fights are
you're
going to
right.
be like 2 chapters each. Like you're not going to get barely anything of any of these fights because
Yeah.
there's too many
we
fights
better.
to have.
There's too many.
we
No.
need
So
too many
here's the
fights
thing.
to
Here's the
have.
thing. Here's the thing. So there's too many fights to have, but this fight goes back really far.
Yeah, so
Jack-
we got that already.
Right.
We
Jack-
got
Well, what if we
that.
get
We got
multiple
Right,
this.
chapters
we got
dedicated
something
to each
for it,
fight,
and
though.
that's fine. But because this animosity spans back so far, we'll probably get a little bit more focus on it than this. There will be a whole bunch of other fights that end this quickly, and we won't bat an eye. Be like, okay, that fight's done. It's done.
Yeah.
Timetable.
That
Let's
makes
move
more
on.
sense.
But
This
like
is Jack. This is a fucking-
Jack
yeah,
and
this is
Neko and
one of
Inu's
his-
entire character arcs and plot lines.
He's the
right
fourth
here.
strongest
This is the end
person
of
in
it?
their fucking.
Yeah.
He's the fourth strongest person in Kaido's crew. It's
Yeah,
Kaido King Jack, or Kaido King
Yeah.
Queen Jack.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
gloss
it's-
over any other
like,
fights you want in this chaotic ass
Yeah.
mess of a fucking fight, but don't
Like,
gloss over this.
Are you
Yeah.
are you going to say that Page One and Ulti, their fight is going to be more theatrical than Jack's fight? That doesn't make any
It doesn't
sense
make
with
too much
like
sense to me
the
either. Yeah.
the
Yeah, we got
ranking
more panels of
situation.
Luffy fighting Ulti than we got of Jack and Inu.
Yeah, it doesn't make that much
It's-
sense to me. Like we at least, well, so I feel like we can have a flashback to showing what happened, and you
Yeah,
can
mhm. That'd be
show
fine.
like, you know, because
They gotta talk their shit.
He got
Yeah.
clawed. You can see like Neko Momoshi
Yeah.
clawing his eye, and like Inuarashi cutting the fucking tusk off, and like if we got like just a little bit more, I would be satisfied. We don't need as a theatrical a fight you would expect
Right.
Usopp and Nami versus Ulti in page 1, because that's gonna be a fucking, if obviously all the panels, and if that fight happens, it's not gonna happen in like 3 concurrent chapters back to back to back, right? Like it's gonna be panels here, panels here,
yes,
panels
exactly,
here, panels here,
exactly.
And so like. But I would say you would probably get at least a full chapter worth of panels distributed throughout 5.
Yeah, we need dialogue. We need to like see like an interaction.
I don't want to sound too redundant, but like because they've already kind of glossed over this point a couple times, but like to see that kind of character arc that was like supposed to have such a huge emotional payoff with like the fucking obviously the destruction of Zoe, they lose their limbs, they fucking lied to him the whole time. We found
crucified
out
on the cross.
Rizzo was fucking safe, almost killed everybody on the whole fucking island. Like to see that culminate to a fucking thud
off-screen loss.
Yeah. I think he's
like, come on, dog. No dialogue.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that he's coming back. And I feel like when they beat him for real, they won't be in Sulong form anymore, and it'll just be raw Neko and Inu versus Jack.
Nah, they gotta be in Sulong though. We gotta see that action.
Well, I mean, I think we're gonna get more Sulong action from them right now with wherever the fight goes now from this point. You know what I mean? I think we'll see that.
But no, what Nox says can be true too, because they fought him, like they didn't fight him together. They took turns fighting Jack throughout the night and the day. So like they didn't actually fight him 2v1 Neko Ino versus Jack. So they can, the Sulong can, be over and they could still fight Jack on a second match here. Boom, they both fall down to lower after Luffy jumps up here, right? Like Luffy gets up to fight Kaido and fucking the fights all kind of fall down, right? Like back to the ground floor, however we're going to do it. Like there definitely can be Inu, Neku v Jack round 2. I
would love to see it.
I think so.
But going into like this kind of like last couple pages here with this fucking Woro last breath.
Drip.
Of what?
I was just gonna say the drip on this fucking Sulong panel.
We're still here. Okay,
we didn't really talk about like their actual design.
Yeah, they look amazing. They look incredible.
They look super tight.
Yes.
Yeah, like absolutely. I'm super partial to Neko because like I've always just liked him better, his personality and just
me too. But I like Inu's Sulong form better.
Kind of going on.
Yeah, with the whiskers and the big ass like Super Saiyan 3 whiskers,
snout, the long ass flowing
I would have liked to see the sword leg, involved still. Like I wanted a full body, and not cut off at the waist, but
And I'm, this might be trash of me, but I honestly wanted them to grow their limbs back. But whatever.
They're not reptiles.
They are not reptiles.
I don't know. Maybe who knows? Maybe they're just different. Maybe you get like you level up your Sulong and now you can, do some regenerative shit.
Maybe.
Maybe it's
I could see that.
Only the toppest tier minks can access it.
Yeah, if that was a thing, I wouldn't be mad about it. I'd be like, okay, Sulong lets you do all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Neko's on his Barrett with the Gatling gun on the shit.
That's definitely sick as hell.
Yeah, I love that.
Inu's is trash though. The sword leg is, I don't know.
It's not that trash. I mean,
I'm not
swordsman. That's tight.
Sword leg.
Yeah, and it's not as cool as Gatling gun on the arm.
No, it's not.
But hey, he's a swordsman, and I mean Shiki did pretty well with it, right? Shiki had sword legs. He was good, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Cool.
But going into the blast breath,
clean as fuck.
Blast breath is sick.
Hyper beam.
Yeah, Kinemon sliced right through that shit. A lot of people are really mad about this because I don't know. They must have forgot that Kinemon could do this, I guess. You know what I mean? Which is fine or whatever. But then people are complaining that he damaged Kaido's mouth inside of this situation. It's like, bro, all of these motherfuckers just stabbed this dude like 7 chapters ago. And we understand that this is like a willpower tilting scale, right? Like Kaido's PTSD and his willpower is faltering in the face of the scabbards, and the scabbards are all in unison with their willpowers aligned for this retribution. So it's like a dude is on their A game. Like a weaker person is on their A game and a stronger person is on their D game. And that's why the damage is getting through in this way, because the willpower difference is so drastic between the two parties. You know what I mean? Like that's literally what it is.
Reed Hunter.
He air slashed him.
Yeah. Huh? Flying slashed him. Yeah, air slashed him.
Yeah, because I was just confused about what exactly cut him. I figured.
Yeah, I thought it was him. I thought it was him initially. I thought it was him flashing back to when Oden slashed him, and it was just like the willpower getting through, and he was like remembering it. But you can see like it's on his mouth.
It's
right?
It
looks like
it's like a slash right
real
time. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I love it. I love it for
the,
Kinemon's character. You know what I'm saying? He was the first retainer. We know he's cold. We know he's strong. We know that he's, you know, like if you're like, I don't care, man. If you're right hand to Oden, you're strong, regardless of what we've seen you do or whatever. Just like you're a combatant type. You're a swordsman. You're in Wano. We know that Wano swordsmen are just like naturally like a higher caliber, regardless of how weak they seem in these areas where they're not getting all of this focus, or there's like other things, you know, factors involved that like make them not utilize their strength in like their most confident ways, whatever. We know that just bare minimum, you are Oden's #1 right hand dude. You are strong as shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he lost to Law. He lost to whoever. Like, Law caught him off guard and sliced him up into cubes for plot. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody loses to Law.
Like
in room.
For plot, though. It's always for plot. You know what I mean?
You're
like,
losing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's
Like,
just
if
the
he
advantage
rooms
Law gets.
And just fucking cuts you up into dice. What the fuck are you supposed
you
to
lose.
do?
Yeah, that's just the advantage that Law gets. And that's what
like-
makes him really strong in combat. Great, that's fine. That doesn't mean that Kinemon is weak because Doflamingo sliced him up with an ability that he couldn't fucking see. And kind of caught him off guard in that kind of situation too. You know what I'm saying? And if we want to keep it,
Doflamingo's one of the strongest characters in the series.
and if we want to keep it a stack, bro, like anybody that Doflamingo ran up on, like he sliced him with those fucking, you know what I'm saying, with those strings, and they were none the wiser. They just got caught like slipping and got sliced. But Kinemon, he went to go attack Kinemon, and Kinemon kind of like saw it coming and tried to put his arms up to defend against it. No one else tried to like actually do something about it. They just got hit with the damage, and that was it. Kinemon actually was like, oh, let me try to do something, and still got hit. But still, though,
I feel like that's
a
better
big
than
moment.
Smoker's defense against it. Smoker just got washed right away.
Exactly.
Instantly. I mean,
Sanji
Smoker was
just got
hurt though.
Sanji just got slashed when he ran up on fucking Doflamingo. Smoker just got slashed when Doflamingo ran up on him. But Kinemon was like, let me try to do something, and then still got slashed. But still, it's little things like that. You know what I mean? So it's like,
it's an unfair grading scale to try to put fucking Kinemon against Doflamingo and actually like think that, you know, it's like, and it's one thing for him to split a attack that he counters, you know. The only thing that is bothersome, I guess, maybe is that, it never dawned on me that this is fire and I should just be able to cut it. Sure, that dialogue there is a little, you know, whatever, but it never even occurred to me, you know, Foxfire style, flame rend. Okay, I can just cut this. But maybe, you know,
because it's not like a traditional fire that you
exactly.
see.
There's that.
You know what I mean? It's a
and has
concentrated
Kinemon
beam.
ever seen this attack other than the first time in which was whatever 60 chapters ago?
In part one,
whatever, roughly,
or part two.
exactly. Yeah,
part one. I think.
Part one. Yeah, exactly. Like he never saw that like time
travel.
future jump. Time travel. He never saw that before. So like it's not that out of the realm of possibility. It's not something to be mad about for sure.
Yeah, and I just love the dialogue here. Like, run. Don't make me laugh, bro. We ain't running, bro. It's 20 years. We're ready to die right here as Oden's retainer. We ain't running from you, bro. What you mean?
You're taking your head.
Your name on cutting right through your shit, and we right here. We're back up next week. What's up? Whenever it comes back, like, we ain't running from nobody, bro. We right here in your grill.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, was is there something with like the prophecy? Like, is there prophecy about Oden Kaido being taken down? Like I was trying to think about it because with Izo here on this panel, I was like, I mean, it makes sense because we still have 9 scabbards, right? Because Kanjuro's gone, and that we needed to fill that spot. Like, was that like? Is there something?
I don't know.
That I just don't remember there. Yeah, I felt like there's something else there that like we needed all the members, all the slots to be filled. I don't know. That's just kind of what I was thinking when I saw this. It's like Izo is included, even though it makes sense for Izo to be included, even if that's not the case because he's there and he showed up to help. You know, obviously his team, whatever, Kiku, etc.
Well, and he was a part of. You know, he was a part of the retainers until a certain point when he left with Whitebeard. But
he
wasn't in the 9 originally, but now he is essentially.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, man.
That's it for me.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, damn, I think that'll do it then.
Hell yeah.
Thank you all so much for watching. If you did, be sure to slap a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that noti bell so you can stay up to date on when the content is coming out. Hit that comment section down below. Let us know what you thought of this weekend jump. You know, hit us up, chop it up, ask questions, whatever.
Yes.
Also, be sure to visit that link tree in the description box down below where you can find links to any and all of our online communities, audio listening platforms to consume the podcast on, as well as links to support the podcast if you would be so kind, such as our Patreon link where you can subscribe to different tiers of content that we release, ranging from early access to all of our content all the way up to a second, shonen-centric weekly podcast that we do on different series. So,
Fire.
Yes.
with all that being said, this will be another incredible episode of the Project Manga podcast. Wrapping up, I'm your host, Eagle.
Peace, y'all. Let's get go.
Knox.
And Nickums.
Sarabada.